Won't you stick around just for some be visible? But you don't, no, you don't care. Leave me to suffer, erase all the doubt. Pouring Jack in my mouth, in a love with enough of the pain and the drugs to be present for now. All I'm right now, I don't wanna wake up messed up, 'cause I can't spend another day like this. Another type of caked up breakup, where I've been finding any way to my fix. But I know I need you now, 'cause I don't wanna be around. No, I don't wanna wake up messed up. There's gotta be another way past this.
Leave it all in the past, 'cause the war isn't over yet. You lost one fight, but it's not the end. So get back up and fight again. Take one step, take another. Find the strength for your brothers. Erase the doubt with your battle cry. You feel the earth move to the drum of steel boots. Banish the fear inside. You're strong enough that you don't have to hide. No, you don't have to hide. You're strong enough with your battle cry. Clash of steel spills your blood. A whisper doubt fills your head, but you have to fight again. So take one step, take another. Find the strength for your brothers. Erase the doubt with your battle cry. With your battle cry. You feel the earth move to the drum of steel boots. Banish the fear inside. You're strong enough that you don't have to hide. No, you don't have to hide. You're strong enough with your battle cry. Brings you to your knees.
poison. This is not a drill, hold nothing back. It's sure to kill. In this leap of faith that you're in me too. You stand alone, but I'll watch over you. The clock is ticking, the clock is ticking. A single second could mean everything. Time is running, the time is running out. Don't give up, don't give in. Don't let me down. Be the one to wipe their grin when they hear this sound. Don't give up, don't give in before they catch a glimpse. I know you'll find the strength within. This is your last chance. Now's your time to shine. Make it count. Honor our sacrifice. And now this is your last chance.
Rising out the ashes, coming from the ether. All I hear is static. Breathe a little deeper. Fallen, broken, a million light years away from home. My eyes opened, and now I've come to claim life. Oh, never let it go. These wings carry me. Live this fantasy. Running through the fire, fire. Gonna let it burn. I am the Messiah. Gonna let it burn. Running through the fire, fire. Gonna let it burn. I am the Messiah. Gonna let it burn. 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 Found me in the darkness. Now they see me shining. Calling me a goddess. Thunder and the lightning. I'm falling, I'm faster. Making my way back, I'm close to home. I'm fighting harder because I've come to claim my throne. Never letting go. These wings carry me. Live this fantasy. Running through the fire, fire. Gonna let it burn. I am the Messiah. Gonna let it burn. I'm running through the fire. Gonna let it burn. I am the Messiah. And I live this fantasy. Running through the fire, fire. Gonna let it burn. I am the Messiah. Gonna let it burn. Running through the fire, fire. Gonna let it burn. I am the Messiah, Messiah. Gonna let it burn.
Show me an opening in the then I'll take it. Yeah, reminding myself to just let go. Don't wonder how far I can fall. Don't look down, never fade out. And I just wanna be someone and never fall behind again. Just keep on moving on. Never look down, never fade out. Never fade out. Don't look down, never fade out. And I just wanna be someone and never fall behind again. Just keep on moving on. Never look down, never fade out. Never fade out. In paradise, the sun never goes, it's a feeling. We watch the waves wash over the shore, the horizon was blinding. This could be the end of the world as we know it. Or this could be the end of the world as we know it. And we never thought we'd get this far. I'm gonna stay true. These songs I wrote for you. Oh, they make me blue. They make me blue. What did you say to me? You wanted to be free. Do you believe? I want you to believe. want you to believe.
Out of the shadows, I've come to make a name. Ready for battle, cause I got a throne to claim. Think that I'll crumble, I'll show you in the slave. Where you see me coming, better run for cover, cause I'm not slowing down, I'm never going under. I survived the pain, I know it made me stronger. So meet the monster, I came to conquer. When all the smoke clears, I'll still be on my feet. Forget all of my fears, cause I know my destiny. I feel a champion waking inside of me. It's in motion, the legend's spoken. This is my moment. Can't break my focus, know where I'm going. This is my moment. Where you see me coming, better run for cover, cause I'm not slowing down, I'm never going under. I survived the pain, I know it made me stronger. So meet the monster, I came to conquer. When you see me coming, better run for cover. I survived the pain, I know it made me stronger. I've been running over all the corners of my mind, trying to find a story to believe. And I've been getting sick of how I'm spending all my time, searching for a way to find relief. And I can stay inside, go to sleep, but I feel like I need to let go. And I can spin a web of any story that I like, but tonight I wanna make a masterpiece. Stepped out looking like a small fire, half glass and filled with desire. Head down, but I know I can't deny it. Life is fun when you're a liar. I'm just trying to learn from all the things that I've been told. I'm gonna paint a new reality. It doesn't take a lot to turn a person into gold. Yeah, I've been getting good at alchemy. And you can stay inside in the dark, but without it you never let go. And when you're done with hiding and you wanna have control, you and I can find a perfect fantasy. Stepped out looking like a small fire, half glass that filled with desire. Head down, but I know I can't deny it. Life is fun when you're a liar.
moment now we're one with the world. I can't lose this feeling I get. My heart's in the right place, and so is my soul, yeah. I won't take no excuses for it. Love it, need it, live it. I feel like something's missing when I do not have it. I feel it in my bones, gotta find my space. These emotions on my face, taking a toll, I gotta pay it forward. I'll give it all that I can. No matter what, I won't let up. It's in my soul, it's in my blood, and I won't take no for an answer. If it don't hurt me, it makes me stronger. No matter what, I won't let up. It's in my soul, it's in my blood, and I won't take it no more. I won't be there. Just leave it to me. I know what I need. You'll find if you see. And if you believe, you live and you breathe, you'll find the key. Lifting me, lifting you. Can't go alone, let's do by two. Doing this together, it's me by you. All through the night, all through the night. This is me, this is you. When we get together, we can all pull through. I don't ever wanna stop this groove. Let's get it right. Take it to the Lord, then take it to the grave. Listen to the wise man, tell me what he say. Listen to your heartbeat like it still bleed. A little bit of hope, yeah, it's what we still need. Say a little prayer for the moment. Give what you got, just go in. Can't hold you back if you own it. Live your life like it's chosen. No matter what, I won't let up. It's in my soul, it's in my blood, and I won't take no for an answer. If it don't hurt me, it makes me stronger. No matter what, I won't let up. It's in my soul, it's in my blood, and I won't take it no more. I won't be there. Just leave it to me. I know what I need. You'll find if you see. And if you believe, you live and you breathe, you'll find the keys. Know what I need, I know what I need. You'll find the keys.
It's been a while, yeah. Safe to say over a year. Still it feels like I saw you every day. Tired of hanging around the ones that always need an explanation. I don't need to every day. Explain myself, don't hold it against me if I'm somewhere else. Put all the masks that I had on the shelf. Wish I could stay, but it's bad for my head. Something's coming. I wanna be everything I thought that I can never be. Build me up, piece by piece. Figured out by all the parts that made me. Used to feel like I belonged to a certain place or a town. Feeling safe, feeling sound when I'm still around. But there's something in the distance. I wanna know what it's like. Don't worry, I'm still with you all the time. explain myself. Don't hold it against me if I'm somewhere else. Put all the masks that I had on the shelf. Wish I could stay, but it's bad for my head. Something's coming. I wanna be everything I thought that I could be. Build me up, these my peace. Figure out by all the parts that maybe something's coming. I wanna be everything I thought that I could be. Build me up, these my peace. Figure out by all the parts that maybe something's coming. I wanna be. Build me up, these my peace.
Glasses on, my hoodie's right. Break the door, give me side eyes. Are you feeling yours? Cause I'm feeling mine. Slide back to the future, got my own time. It's sniffing dope to feel right. Got my own high, don't need no lines. Sneaky bitches never ever act with zone eyes. Alright. You can tell me nothing. Come back when you got something to say. Just put the volume up, man. Take a seat in the back, yeah. You can tell me nothing. Come back when you got something to say. Just put the volume up, man. Take a seat in the back, yeah. Alright, hot damn. Not worrying about man's got a plan. It's not really about the dough, got a time frame. Matter of fact, about to blow up your whole thing. So good, hell I'm all fine. Got a sweet little ooh and it's all mine. My shoe games, class high, hear it all the time. You can tell me nothing. Come back when you got something to say. Just put the volume up, man. I'ma go get 'em. No time looking back, every day gotta do better. I'ma go get 'em. Blow the roof off for I really want to see, now go tell 'em. My detention sky, no helmet. Preparing myself on top, no weapons. On my own, I stop caring. Cause they keep telling me you can tell me nothing. Come back when you got something to say. Just put the volume up, man. Take a seat in the back, yeah. You can tell me nothing. Come back when you I was running road so many nations. Even when it's so sweet, I end up seeing red. Is it such a ghostly revelation? I may have fucked up all my chances.
And we ain't sleeping on the floor again. We never sleeping on the floor again. For the ones who didn't make it out, for the ones that didn't see the life, for the ones that never cared, never gave a thought, found no happiness in that brand new car or the house you bought. I see you talking about the love you lost, and it was gone like way before you ever thought it was. Yeah, I took my time, no quick ones, quick run, quick guys to get back there. Hot roads, I didn't think I'd come back fierce, cause
I was running road so many nations. Even when it's so sweet, I end up seeing red. Is it such a ghostly revelation? I may have fucked up all my chances. It's easy, it's hard to preach, cause I've been burning trees and watching fall. If we cannot breathe out, we go forward. Sure, I was searching for cure, fishing a little wildlife. And when I'm low on fuel, I'll still be running till my back broke. Halfway, lost hope and I'll check it. Hard roads, I didn't think I'd come back fast, cause I was running roads so many nations. Even when it's so sweet, I end up seeing red. Ghostly revelation. I may have fucked up all my chances. Been around the globe, looked around, nothing fitted. Seen high and lows, but you won't even get it. Been around the globe, think it's time to admit it's not the end, but the road, and you won't even get it. Been around the globe, looked around, nothing fitted. Seen high and lows, but you won't even get it. Been around the globe, think it's time to admit it's not the end, but the road. I was running roads so many nations. Even when it's so sweet, I end up seeing red. Is it such a ghostly revelation? I may have fucked up all my chances. Fucked up all my chances. Yes, I was running. I know. I know. Will you follow me under when I'm crumbling? Every night I wonder, will it ever end? Sometimes I can barely breathe, dear. Sometimes I don't wanna be here. Sometimes I don't wanna be here. Sometimes I don't wanna be here. every night I wonder, will it ever end? Sometimes I can barely breathe, dear. Sometimes I don't wanna be here. Sometimes I don't wanna be here. Will you follow me under? Sometimes I don't wanna be here. Sometimes I don't wanna be here. Sometimes I don't wanna be here.
I've been working part-time jobs, chasing all my dreams out lately. No matter if I try too hard, nothing's ever enough, baby. No, I don't care too much. I don't care too much. As long as I can keep you by my side, I don't care too much. We got time, no rush. In your eyes, I always see there is something meant for me. In your eyes, I always feel different.
leader. I got my team up. I've been a dreamer. I switched the scene up. I done got that green up. It don't make me fiend up, but they know I'm being with the rats. Call me the fiend up. Every word. Smoke up, no lean up in my soda. Fresh and clean, got no odor. I've been an outcast, me and scared, we told ya. Been in that backseat, facts speak. Move that word, but it ain't no deep.
Intel Extreme Masters New York Online is brought to you in part by Intel, Acer Predator, Mountain Dew Game Fuel, DHL, AT&T, U.S. Air Force, and GG Bet.
These are those moments I don't think anybody else is going to forget.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Intel Extreme Masters New York Online here into our B stream for the CIS region, where the action is ready to go here between Nemiga and Winstrike. I'm the Eternal J. I'm joined by Blake. We've had our fun covering the late night North American stuff. Now here in our local times, and it might get a bit more interesting with the other side of the RMR for New York. How you doing today, man?
Mate, I am very excited. Getting back involved in CIS, a region that, you know, we haven't seen, or at least both you and I, for a little bit of time, but both these teams are very recognizable. We've got Nemiga taking on Winstrike to start off, and look, I think this could be a bit of an interesting affair, right? Both teams sort of middle of the table towards Group B, so look, there's certainly some room for movement when it comes to the points, Jay.
Yeah, and much like all the rest of the RMR formats we've seen from the RMR sort of brackets, and especially when the ones being run by ESL, we've seen a lot of sort of like these top three sort of group stages. Obviously, with 6 teams competing overall, and with both teams sort of like fighting for as many points as possible. Winstrike need to win as much as Nemiga do as well. So like very important matches across the board, not just for the big name squads, but also for the lower levels here between these two teams. And as you mentioned, very recognizable names of all just on paper alone, let alone the lineups themselves, of which we basically have the best team from Belarus right now going to try and take on a Winstrike side who have been in a little bit of a weird position as of late. Like they've sort of been trying new elements and they seem to have settled on a decent roster, but I'm not sure it lives up to the name of the Winstrike of old.
Yeah, look, I'm with you there, and look, they've brought in a new in-game leader of Nickelback a couple of months ago. I know that he was on trial, he's been signed permanently to the roster, but it seems like inconsistent behavior is just the name for Winstrike, and it has been for the last 6 months or so. You know, we saw them in Road to Rio get a 2nd place in the RMR, but then in We Play Clutch Island, they go down in 7th. We've seen them play some online cups, your 9 to 5s, your Malta Vibes, and what have you, and coming out in like last place, 2nd last place in their groups, and then all of a sudden they go to Legend Series and they get 2nd place. So or 1st place, I should say. It seems like for Winstrike, especially like the last sort of 4, 5, 6 months, they're so inconsistent. And whenever I cast this team, whenever I watch it, I just never know, are we going to see the Alliance that's just absolutely insane? Are we going to see the team putting up some really big results? Or are we just going to see them again go down into some really awkward positions? They're currently 5th in Group B to start off in IEM New York.
Yeah, I mean, talking about that Legend Series result, I was wondering if that sort of momentum was going to tick over into New York, and it seems like it hasn't really done that. And you talk about the consistency of some of those elements, like you mentioned the Lion to bring his name up, and it's like, yeah, like he's one of those guys that I saw back during his time on EPG. He was one of those players that you would have thought that he would have, become like a potential like really, really big star AWPer. But ever since he's come out of that tier 3 region of CIS, he's really, really struggled on this Winstrike side, especially. Like, you know, he's been unable to post the consistent numbers, and like you mentioned, question. Which line are we going to see today from the Winstrike side? I don't know. You never can tell, to be honest. And I think that's sort of like an issue that resonates with the rest of the squad itself. Like, I just take a look at a lot of the players and the consistency hasn't been there. Maybe the addition of Nickelback in the IGL role may be the addition they need to bring that stability back to the table. But, like, whether that actually ends up coming to the case is yet to be seen for Winstrike. It definitely feels like the teething period or the honeymoon period is over, and the true teething period has only just begun for this team.
No, absolutely. And this is a perfect opportunity for them to sort of prove themselves, to sort of say, yeah, maybe we have been inconsistent for the last few months, but we could put some results up, see if they can get into that playoffs position. Look, their track record so far in New York hasn't been fantastic. I think the loss to Hellraisers was maybe not a big upset, but certainly a disappointing loss there. They probably should have been able to convert that game. Going down to Gambit as well, who's been a big rising star in the CIS scene for the last few months now. So, look, for Winstrike, they really need some points. And look, for a Nemiga, I still think it's going to be a really tough contest. You have a look at the head-to-heads. Winstrike have been able to come out on top the majority of the best of threes, but I think in recent performance, Nemiga have sort of got the upper hand.
Yeah, no, I mean, like, even though the last best of 3 was a 2-0 for the Winstrike side, the time before that was Nemiga's sort of victory, and, in general, like, I think Nemiga's performances in recent tournaments have sort of been on the up and up, whereas, like, Winstrike have plateaued a little bit. So definitely a lot of momentum coming into this match with the Belarusian side, even though on paper, when you take a look at this lineup, you wouldn't expect them to be sort of, like, very powerful by comparison. So tell me who stands out to you between these players.
It's got to be the two players of Speedak and Lollipop 21K. There's no doubt about it. I mean, Lollipop's been a name that's been talked about for years and years, to sort of be like this guy that is just absolutely insane. He's stayed by the Nemiga side for a very long time. I think he's been on the lineup for over 2 years now. I know MDS has been there even longer. But Speedak is an AWPer that's been recently signed. He's been here for about 9 months or so, moved over from that Dream Eaters Hard Legion core over to the Nemiga side, which was kind of a little bit interesting, because it's always been Belarus players, and now they've picked up a Russian. I know that they still speak the same language, but it may be a little bit of a cultural difference now going into this year, picking up a Russian player rather than a Belarus player like they normally do.
Well, how that will change things up in the communications is yet to be seen. I know that they were speaking Belarusian, when they had the full Belarusian lineup. I don't know how Joe was fitting into that roster, because I don't know if he speaks Belarusian either. So, like, it depends, really. Maybe they all transitioned to Russian before they brought in Speedak. I don't really know at this stage. That's definitely some intricacies that Nemiga hopefully can answer us a little bit later on if we get to hear from them in the victory. But they've got to get that victory on the board first. The best of 3 against Winstrike is still going to be a bit of a tough ask. Again, these teams have a lot of history between each other. Most of it has gone in the favor of Winstrike, but as of late, I think that maybe Nemiga might be able to edge them out. Let's take a look at the map vetoes and see how well they've been able to play the mind games in the early part of things. Inferno banned by Winstrike, Dust 2 taken out by Nemiga, Vertigo picked by Winstrike. I do like to see that, with Mirage coming through from the Nemiga side. Ban Overpass, ban Train, and the last map will be Nuke. So I look at that Vertigo immediately for Winstrike, and I think that's a very strong map for them. I'm glad they got that in the pool early.
Yeah, look, Winstrike were one of those teams that when Vertigo first came out, they started playing it a lot, and probably one of the only CIS teams, or at least one of the most prevalent ones, to really start to hammer in Vertigo and see if they can put some results up very early to when the map came out. But for Nemiga, it's an insta-ban. They don't really play it. I'm kind of surprised they didn't ban it out in the veto. It's allowed the pick to come through from Winstrike. So maybe Winstrike weren't quite expecting Vertigo to come out. Again, it is an insta-ban. It normally gets banned straight away in the initial veto process. And then Nemiga going in for a Mirage pick. You look at the statistics, yeah, maybe it doesn't look fantastic. Again, though, I've seen Nemiga on Mirage. They look pretty comfortable on it. They pick it a hell of a lot. And then going to that third map of Nuke, I know that we've had a chance to catch Winstrike a few months ago on Nuke a fair bit. They played a lot, Jay, but they don't have the best of victories on it.
No, I mean, like, I'm kind of surprised they let that one slip through of their own right. 18 times played in the past few months on Nuke, and Winstrike have only got 33% win rate. It's a very weird sort of map for them, even though in theory, the pool should be very deep for them, because the number of maps they played across the last few months have been pretty high. At the same time, some of the win rates, especially for a map like Nuke, which they played so often, it's just coming to victory so little for them. And I don't know why they've let that go for them, because it definitely feels like one of those weak spots which a lot of the teams have been able to exploit as time has gone on. So if we go to that third map, Nemiga have a really, really good chance, I think, of taking it.
Yeah, look, I am a little bit surprised that they let that go through. I think that Overpass was a decent map for Winstrike. They actually banned that out rather than getting Nuke out of the veto. So a little bit interesting. I think that it is a few surprises with, first of all, the Vertigo not being banned and then going to Nuke as that third map. But you've got to expect for both these teams, they've always got something up their sleeve. I know that the CIS region can be sort of one of those regions where at least the Force buys, the Deagle rounds can be really, really impactful. So I'm going to be keeping an eye out for both teams. I think Winstrike have got some really good Deagles. Lackey and Align are the two players to sort of keep an eye out for on those sort of half-buy rounds. I think they've got some really great pistols in the CIS scene.
Yeah, pistols can be particularly proficient, I think, for a lot of squads in CIS. So I'm keeping your eyes on that and see how well they'll be able to do in the pistol round. Obviously, it was a great pace setter. But just sort of like just thinking about the series overall, like, what do you think? How do you think it's going to turn out here? Like, for me, I'm going to kind of go 2-1 to the favor of Nemiga. I don't think that they're going to be able to get Vertigo on the board, but I do also think map 2 and map 3 are some pretty decent affairs for them. Some pretty weak maps for the Winstrike side. So for me, I'm riding Belarus for this one. Like, it feels like they've got they've got the upper hand in this veto and in this series and in the momentum as well. A lot of positive points going in the way of Nemiga here.
Yeah, you know what? I'm thinking 2-1 Nemiga. I think there's actually a decent chance that they can 2-0. And the reason I saw that is because, the reason I say that is because I saw them take on Hellraisers on Vertigo, which was Hellraisers map pick about 6 days ago in the first round of the IEM New York CIS. And they looked like really proficient on Vertigo. So it might be a bit of an insta-ban for them, but I actually have seen some decent results from them, at least over just 6 days ago. So I think there's a chance for a 2-0 here for Nemiga, but I think it will go 3 maps, but still the favor of the Belarus side.
Yeah, okay, so we're all about 3 maps and Belarus being able to take this matchup here. We'll see whether Winstrike can respond. And again, they've got so much potential on this roster. They just need to unlock it and get it consistent. That is the main thing for Winstrike. And if we see that Winstrike that has that potential, if they turn up to the server today, then we could be looking very, very wrong by comparison in this one, Blake. So what do you think win conditions are for the Winstrike side to be able to take this series?
Yeah, look, I think they've got to be winning out their clutches, and I got to think that they've got to be looking confident. I think Alliance got to be the big element. I know that a lot of people talk about him being sort of the star on this side, and look, he absolutely is. He needs a little bit of support coming out from his riflers, of his teammates. Bondic and Lackey can be some really great clutches too. So I think for Winstrike, playing with a lot of confidence, getting that AWP in the hands of Align as early as possible. Try and get it out really early into the game and get him fired up, find him getting that impact.
And we'll see how well Align will chime in with that AWP, see whether that potential comes in as appropriate for the rest of the Winstrike players as we get into the pistol round. Nemiga on the CT start. Winstrike out with the T-side pistol. Going to see the Kevlar coming in for most players here. A little bit of utility for Croydon. I think he's dropped a P250 for Reliant, and indeed he has. There's no upgrade pistols, no Kevlar, no utility, no diffuse kit for the Nemiga side. They start things off over the CT pistol. Set up and base down here towards the A site. Going to receive some contact from Rat.
Just typical 3-1-1 split to come out from Nemiga, having 3 players stacked up towards that A bomb site, but Joe gets very aggressive, and he's got no teammates to actually trade him out. So for Winstrike, the information goes the way of their play into the A ramp position, but they find that opening kill with ease, just off a little bit of aggression from the CT side.
First frag found. USP keeping its eyes on. Smokes down towards that cross area, and here come Winstrike. Speed at 3 to receive. 2 heads to find. Misses them both. Lackey and Nickelback can get those trades together. Lollipop held out in the open. Line will take him down, leaving MDS in a 1v5. Bomb plant to be secured. USP's to the T side, facing in towards him, and MDS gets dealt with by the Winstrike cap. Pistol to the favor of the T side, and a little bit of over-aggression, a little bit of confident execution. Either way, it all combines for a very confident pistol.
Yeah, that looked really simple to come out from Winstrike, in all honesty. They just stack up through ramp, they wait for the over-aggression to come out from Joe. From there, they put the cross smokes down into the site, and they try and force the CTs to overextend, and that's exactly what happens. Some really great duels going their way. Nemiga not finding a single kill in the pistol. They will force buy, though, going into the next round, and Winstrike are going to go back towards ramp. This time around, though, they might have to just wait a little bit longer unless they want to try and push through this smoke.
Bondic taking Joe out. AK shots through the smoke. A Lion getting boxed next to follow suit to the 5v3. The CT's again trying to aggress, but getting picked apart by these SMGs and rifles. Mac 10 kill for Crizzen. Next up, MDS and Speedak only have the Eagles and a Kevlar in for them, a 2v5 scenario, and what has been a very confident setup here from the Winstrike camp.
Now, things are looking great for Winstrike in the early section of Vertigo. Ooh, Crizzen does go down to the Deagle of Speedak, so there can be an SMG picked up for the CT side, but already Winstrike are trying to make a little bit of movement to this A bomb side. They've been able to clear it out for the most part, get that bomb down. And for Nemiga, you've got to think 2 on 4. They might as well just hold on to these weapons rather than try and go for the retake.
Yeah, it makes sense at this stage. I mean, maybe if Speedak can upgrade towards an AK or a Galil, that might be more of a pickup for them. I mean, it's better even for MDS to get one of those rifles out. They have 2 automatics to work into the next round with, but for the most part, you're looking at basically just holding onto the Kevlar, the helmet, more valuable to Nemiga at this stage. The second round of the board of Winstrike as confidence starts on the T side. And again, a T side on their own map pick. That does feel like a confident little affair for them, it seems.
Yeah, Winstrike off to a good start. One thing that's obviously really important too is that I know there were only 2 rounds deep. It's only very early into this map, Jay, but with only 1 player going down so far in the last 2 rounds, it means that Winstrike are being able to build up a bit of self-confidence. It means that they're not having to reinvest into SMGs and MAC-10s and Galils and AKs if they want to. So they've got a really stable economy. If they're able to convert another strong round with sort of 3+ players staying alive, that's going to be really healthy for their money standpoint.
I mean, utility out very early on here for the T-side defaults out towards the ramp position. Again, Winstrike leaning into this part of the map for the 3rd time in a row. AK is the MAC-10, the Galil, of course, just pressing in against not much on the Nemiga side there. Most looking towards these rifle rounds and hoping to catch some sort of contact initially. Aggressive plays from Nemiga, going to slowly prod into that mid control. Not from Winstrike is there to take that face. They're just playing passive in that default standard over towards the ramp position. Molotovs will come in and drive some of the common corners away. And one CT presses forward. Made up position to get shut down by headshot. That's 1 frag found by Lollipop, 2 retraded by Alliant and Crizzen. Bots can at least turn it around. Low on HP, though, he should get overwhelmed.
An expensive round so far, and it seems like the aggression finally working out for Nemiga, at least to find some trades. MDS and Speedak are left to try and see if they can find any more damage to this T side. They've got that MAC-10 and a Deagle. And Nickelback trying to get some eyes out towards a ramp position. MDS dealt with from the side players. And Winstrike going to be able to convert their 3rd round. A little bit more damage than in the past, so Nemiga can be happy about that. Unfortunately, not being able to recover any of those T-side weapons of the AKs is a little bit disappointing.
Yeah, not really much that they could have done about that. Again, Nemiga in this weird sort of position where they need to do some damage, mostly focus on the economy game early on for Winstrike. 3-0 start here for the T side. Nemiga out for the rifles, and this is going to be their main thing. They need to get these weapons in play. They do have AWP potential, even if it's glass cannon. Will they go for it? Not quite against Lollipop. Speedak still has a chance, and actually he does have the Kevlar to hold into this. So yes, AWP will come out for the CT side.
Yeah, important feature in that last round, Jay, is that because Speedak actually tries to hold on to the Deagle and armor rather than looking for extra kills, it gives him that armor to back up the AWP going into the first gun round. Looking to try and go very aggressive. He's by himself actually out from this mid control, but it seems like it's early plays once again to this ramp default from Winstrike. Aggression fought with a bit of an aggression from Nemiga. Lots of nades coming through. The nade stack onto box.
Quick drag, Joe turns it around, and Lion will drop in trade. So 4v4 as the CT side hold control. They go passive out here towards this ramp position. The AKs, knowing that they have faced some resistance and they could lose more lives. Still plenty of time to the clock here to try and make this happen. Sprays through the AKs. A minute to the clock, Winstrike are leaning into the A-site contact.
Speedak and Lollipop haven't seen anything out from the mid default, so this might actually force some rotations into the A-bomb site. Winstrike again, taking this ramp control without too much of a contest. It seems like for Nemiga, they're getting aggressive in the early round to at least have a contact out from ramp. But outside of that, when it gets later into after sort of the 1 minute mark on the clock, they don't retake it at all. They allow Winstrike easy control.
Yeah, a lot of breathing room beginning towards the alley push up. The Molotov gets body blocked though, and that gives Joe enough information that they can spray back or Nickelback, take him down to the 4v3. Bomb plant will be secured. Incendiaries will go up, drive players away. Lackey tagged 72 alongside Bonic on the exact same number of HP, but Joe will still fall to a 3-on-3 situation. Post plant set up for Winstrike. Speedak is going to catch Lackey here with his big green gun. And Bonic trying to rotate the support Prison here in the sandbags. The bomb is a known entity. MDS comes up with a frag. Prison trades it back. Now 2 more to find. Tap up, spray through. Prison can't quite find that frag. Sees a player jumping. Lollipop looking for info. Costing his life. 1v1. Prison clutched it, but no. Speedak brings the AWP to play. He won't get the round, but at least the stylish no-scope to close it out.
Oh, for Nemiga, the thing that they struggled with the most there, Jay, is no kit meant that they had to try and bait and switch. They had to try and pull Chris now into the open, and that just did not happen at all. Playing around the sandbags over on that T side, he does not need to move. He tries to waste as much time as possible. In the end, rather than just one player sticking the 10-second defuse and the other player trying to defend, they both try and take fights, and Chrisen just wastes so much time. A nasty shot to come out from Speedak towards the end, and at least he recovers that AWP. And Nickelback has been knifed in the back by one of his teammates, down to 39 points of health to start off round 5. Is not always the best of starts. And Speedak bringing that AWP over to the ramp control. But yeah, Jay, we never like to see a knife in the back into Nickelback, do we?
No, I mean, if it was a knife in the back, I'd give him the credit that, but no, he's aiming for Rock Band, not a backstab. But AWP Speedak still being in play, of course, for this round for Nemiga, looking to try and be the main damage dealer with these upgrade pistols. The half-life for the CT camp is going to actually get taken out very early on. Bondic finding that opening frag back over at the A site. Aggressive plays again from Winstrike, leaning in towards these ramp defaults, and they're struggling to deal with this. It's just been A kit after A kit coming out from the Winstrike side. Nemiga needs to do a whole lot more to stop this. It is up against pistols right here, but this is the 5th round in a row they'll have. And actually, the pistols are trying in to do some damage, taking some rifles away. Lollipop with the most recent deagle shot on to Prison. Response back, play 3-on-2, making it one of Lackey gets up close and personal against Box. Lollipop also will end up falling. So 5-0, Winstrike, max loss bonus for Nemiga now. Getting the buy-in, and they need to bolster that A defense.
And you've just got to think that if Nemiga can maybe try and take some ramp control in the early round and actually aggress, it might actually force Winstrike into mid or B, because every single round so far on this T side of Vertigo, it's been A. We have not seen a lot of mid control come out from the Ts, hardly anything towards the B stairs. It seems like Winstrike are coming in with a plan, and now they're finally going over to the B bomb site, but that's where Speedak is with the AWP. Good flashes him off angle.
Early damage sustained by both sides will force Winstrike to go a bit more passive on their defaults. Nemiga this time getting the aggression to work out. And now they start leaning into the B site player. One player out from mid. Incendiary's down to do a lot of damage to Nickelback and Lackey. And they're going to hear that utility being thrown down as well. Smokes up, flashes over, MDS fully blind. Nades onto the back of quad. Bringing his eyes on all that main entrance, spray through, lights up 2 frags and gets the second player unexpectedly. Lollipop makes his way up against the bomb planter. Nickelback and Lackey to fall. And Chrisen, last man left out towards the mid control, flanking out, taking that contact, spraying through, now known to the CT side. And Nemiga with a much better defensive will claim their first of the match.
And it felt like such a staggered attack to come out from Winstrike. Like, there's so much utility. They get the smoke down. The flashes are absolutely everywhere. But yet they're still sort of quite slow to get into the site and sort of swing out. Now, MDS able to just line them up with the AUG. They pick up a massive amount of AKs. 3 for the CT side now going forward. And maybe Winstrike can go back to the ramp control, Jay. As soon as they go to B, they get shut down.
It was a good effort from Nemiga to force him to go that way. Heavy resistance posted up towards the A ramp contact. And once again, Winstrike are going to try and play into this position. Aggressing 3 players back passive at the bottom of the ramp area. 1 player left to expect some B-site aggression. Crizzen leaning in towards the mid control. Will try to take the upper site and start leaning into a split out, or try and sell the idea of another stack in and a split towards the B-site. The 4th player has rotated in. They've left that mid control entirely open. They're going to try stack in and start making their way up the ramp control. Again, the aggression comes in slow and steady from Box and Joe, and they pay for it. Nickelback with the latest kill to the lineup. Lollipop, he gets it back to a 3-on-2, but Lackey trades to evens.
Speedak needs a little bit of help on the site, but the thing is, do they really have the information that Winstrike are still trying to make this play towards A? Because with them back very deep into the ramp control, it means that even for Speedak looking into ramp for info, he's not going to see anything, and he goes, right, you know, maybe it's just a B play. I'm just going to rotate off from A, maybe rotate to the mid position. And he even thinks that there can be a backstab. They've got very little information on what's going on here.
30 seconds left. Winstrike, slow peeking in, up base, Speedak does not catch a kill. Forced away at 22 HP, the bomb plant can be secured. The 3rd player of MDS is very, very slow to the rotation. I guess he thought there was probably a mid player coming in for a stack out and a split push in to cut off any rotations. Good and cautious, but it will take time to get a retake set up here for the Nemiga cap. AWP fires away. Crizzen catches him off guard regardless. And now MDS left alone. 1 faced, 1v1 now. Only 1 incendiary to force Lackey away. He'll put it down towards the alleyway position. Tries to play the force forward look towards main. Catches that head and catches the 2nd for Nemiga.
Okay, and finally the clutch actually turns out to be a successful round. Enough time left still to get the defuse through. A fantastic shot coming out from MDS. A 1v2 for Nemiga. And you almost felt as if this was kind of brought back from Lollipop 21k, but really, Jay, I felt the slow walks into ramp, it was a good addition because we haven't really seen them retake that ramp control, but without any utility, Winstrike were just not blind at all, and they were just waiting for over-aggression.
Flashes out, Fox going to try spray through, get the wall bang on towards Nickel. Back 2 CT kills coming down as they overwhelm the pistols, and Winstrike try rush their way in, but unable to find much success out of it. The bomb will make its way out to the B bomb site where MDS is ready and waiting to receive. 2 players could be up to face up. The AWP to support it. The flashbang does catch both players blind at least, so they get that much out of this one. And actually, Speedak blind enough for Lackey to get a quick deagle shot in. MDS takes out his backup and eventually drops that bomb planter, so bit of a moment there for the CT side, but they do recover it, and Winstrike have to concede 3 back to Nemiga.
Yeah, Lion, he's been able to clear out the A bomb site. Unfortunately, no bomb means that there's no chance for a bomb plant. In control of the CT side, Box holding the CT angle. Lion can't find any more than that. So 3 on the board now for Nemiga. Just a light eco to come out from Winstrike in the last. Means that the rifles will be able to come through. Coming into round 9. MDS in particular, Jay, these last few rounds, he's really been stepping up, whether it's a rifle or whether it's just a pistol. He's looking on point for this Nemiga camp.
Yeah, good stuff posted up. The players to highlight here for the CT side, see if we can continue this performance and try and get the offensive rolling. And then falls in against the AKs, and A's up to do some minimal damage towards them. The second A is going to be much better against Bondic, 52 HP, Joe on 66. So all in all, HP advantage won out here by Nemiga.
Hey, look, good start in terms of the nade placement onto Bondic. Very, very light utility for Winstrike. They've got, what, a few smokes and a couple of flashbangs. That's it. Very, very limited. Even more spams trying to come through onto Bondic's position. Nemiga have got 3 players towards this A bomb site. Winstrike, without really, well, they don't have a lot of util, but without using a lot of it, they've been able to slow walk their way into getting some decent ramp control once again.
Smokes down to try and block them off even further here. 60 seconds to the hit. Winstrike continuing to work with this ramp control, spraying through a number of rifles firing simultaneously, so I know of at least 3 players to this position. They've got 3 to respond back. The Nemiga side ready to receive the hit from Winstrike. A tough little ask for them. Again, they've got a slight HP advantage. All they got to do is bottleneck them as they make their way around the corner into the main entrances here. M4 of Joe standing by. Incendiary up the stall for even more time. That'll buy a few extra precious seconds with the time being so low for Winstrike. That is going to be dangerous for them. And here they go out of the gate. M4 spray catches that first. Flashbang blinds off 2 players back here. Lion turned around. Low from Joe. Still able to transfer with 2 more frags. Prison and Bondic trying back in, but still they've got Joe here towards the alley entrance. Gets another frag. Knows that Bondic's round to that corner and gets 4 kills all in all. Fantastic defensive hold from him for 4 rounds for Nemiga.
All right, Jay. Well, it looked like the early sort of few rounds of this map looked very one-sided to the Winstrike favor, but now Nemiga are starting to come back. Now, one thing in particular that really sort of set up that round was Box putting down that incendiary towards a ramp position very late into the round, actually allowed rotations to come through. So once the execution was there were so many players at that A bomb site. And Joe doing a really good job of being able to defend the best that he can. 4 kills to the man. And forcing Winstrike on another eco round, Jay.
Indeed they are. Deagle's in play. Flashes over and everything. Very little to work with overall for the T side. And Nemiga should be on to probably wreck what they have left in for the T side and go 5-all above Winstrike. MDS set the crossfire, the other M4 the other side of the site. Speedak will come up with 2 kills. Bondic with a Deagle shot on. Lopop will get Crescent to fall. The bomb drops in the open. Nickelback last player left on the stairs area. They are feeding their bodies to him. There could be some more damage done by the Winstrike side, but 3 do stay alive overall. And we go 5-all. Winstrike's early lead, early advantage being equalized against.
And look, taking a tactical, Nickelback's got to have a chat with the guys because, look, they had a 5-0 start. And I certainly think that Nemiga, maybe not so much a slow start, but I think that they were getting warmed up in those first few rounds. We saw some really sloppy kills coming out. We saw some really great entries from Winstrike. But now it started to turn around. Nemiga have sort of come in with a bit more of a game plan on the CT side. It was very aggressive to start off. And I've certainly noticed that these last few rounds, Shay, it has been aggressive at moments, but I think it's been a lot more passive, sort of saying, you know what, let's allow the map control to come through from Winstrike because we're stronger when we're on the site deep in the defensive.
The odds there from our partners at GG Bet definitely favouring the Nemiga side. They were also very similar numbers from the earlier before you went live with the pistol, so definitely favourable to the Belarusians, and it will continue that way as they move to gain a lead here above Winstrike. Early damage from Joe, 20 points of health, but the blind shots and a nade directly to his position, tanked it to the back of the head. Nades to respond don't do nearly as much damage. He does escape back to a passive position, but Winstrike will gain an early advantage.
A great spam from Winstrike. So a couple of players just firing as many bullets as they can, and Joe got taken down incredibly low. They're now going to swap over the AWP to the HP player. Look at the stack, though, towards this A bomb site. They are running 3 players at A, but you've got a very quick rotator position of Speedak that can rotate in from this mid-angle. Winstrike, though, they want to try and take back some mid-control. It's an area of the map that they haven't really put too much focus in.
Very passive to this angle, and Nemiga have considered it as a result, focusing mostly on the A-side defense due to the number of the players that go towards the A ramp area. Winstrike very late into the round will start to push into this position. Bondic still going to try sell him on an A play, and a large presence here towards the ramp position as he swings out, gets that kill on Joe. It'll be hard not to rotate out, and Lollipop indeed will bite. 30 seconds, no one's watching mid, no one's watching stack for the moment. Winstrike could split in towards the B site, and they'll be caught so far off guard. Nickelback will take Lloyd with one of the rotation. M4 spray from Block catches 1 and 2. That's the bomb drop with MDS getting lucky as well on the entryway. AWP lands a leg shot. Bondic will come up the back lines, take down that player, but the bomb needs to get picked up and hit towards the A side right now. 2-on-2. AK catches a Lion. He gets caught up by the wall, and Bondic hasn't got time for this. He won't get the bomb down in time. Speedak's got to stay alive, and one mistake by a Lion costs everything for Winstrike.
And you've got to think, what's going on there with Winstrike? Bondic should have single-handedly won that round. He pulled rotations to that A bomb site, Jay. He got an opening kill. He pulled one of the mid players off. There was only one more defender at mid. Bondic did so much work. He even got 3 kills on a lurk, and it still wasn't enough to win out that round. They can't get the bomb towards the site. It's too little time on the clock. This is now 6 rounds in a row for Nemiga.
And that's a lead being gained above the Winstrike T side, a T side that you would have expected to go particularly well for them. Again, a map that they're really confident on here in Verto. Now set with the M4s in, AUGs out, with a heavy event from Winstrike that doesn't even get full rifles and had the AWP for a Lion, sure. In, boost up, spray 2 from MDS, catching Lash with so much damage. He expects that player to still be there towards the wood. The flashbang will force him away. Damage done to Speedak as well to force him back of his own accord. 5 on 5 still, no casualties, and the T's are going to rotate out.
Yeah, they're just siphoned off from B. So much spam, so much utility coming in. They go, you know what, it's probably not even worth it. And let's go back to what's worked for us the majority of these rounds, at least in getting map control. A run boost over. They don't see anything. No one's aggressive out here from the ramp control, but there is a player towards sandbags, Jay.
Smokes on Joe. Back at the sandbags area, waiting for contact. They know he's there. Still focusing on him here. Flashback to try to get him out of dodge. He's completely blinded. Nickelback will take that kill. Lollipop takes a trip to the turn. Pace up. He lines up 2 more. Fox gets Bondic and Winstrike. Where's the confidence gone? Now they're getting really desperate and they're making some crucial mistakes.
Oh, Lollipop stepping up 4 massive kills. And he was the one that tried to get aggressive with a follow-up flashbang to try and get his teammate out of that sandbags position. The only reason he was there was to try and hold somewhat of a defense to get his teammate out of there. Box goes down and Lollipop goes up. 4 kills to him. 7 in a row for Nemiga. This is looking really, really awful now for Winstrike. They were off to such a flyer of a start too.
And 2 rounds the difference. Now Nemiga, talk about the flyer of a start for Winstrike, a flyer of a response from their opposition. Incredible stuff posted up by the CT Forces, the AWPs, and the rifles are back in. There's only Deagles to play for here. And look at this, they're not even checking the sandbags. Joe's on for several, takes himself 2 prison, kills off Bondic and TK in the interim. Oh, disaster for Winstrike. 1 on 5. And Crizzen dealt with. Man, this has fallen to pieces for the... I can't even believe it. Like, it's just so stunning. Like, I couldn't... after such a confident start, I would have thought they would have continued that. But now Nemiga are going. Winstrike are hitting brick walls, and now they're hitting themselves.
And look, I mentioned it in the pre-game, Jay. We saw them take on Hellraisers in that sort of debut game for IEM New York CIS, where they had a really strong showing on Vertigo. They started on the CT side. They got a 10-5 half. There's a chance for them to replicate the same thing. Winstrike going very, very quickly into this ramp default, but it's Box getting hyper-aggressive. We have not seen this kind of play from Nemiga before. There's just so much chaos at ramp and so much damage too.
Look at the health. Look at health for Winstrike. They've already lost Bondic to Box. And the Lion, Lackey, Nickelback, all 3 players, 43 HP or less, and bullets flying so close to them. If they take even a tag, they're done. Crizzen, 100 points of health, needs to do the heavy lifting for Winstrike, but I can't imagine what prospects they have in this round. 5 on 4, now map control being taken away. They're all pressed in. Box are going to set up the backstab. Winstrike are about to get closed in upon.
Yeah, and they can just gamble rotate to this A bomb site. They have to leave MDS here at B until they get the information from Box. Going in the backstab. Is anyone even watching the angle? He's going to start here in the utility. And, ooh, the peak's not coming out just yet, but he's got the information. They know it has to be an A play now.
Yeah, he's wrapped in. He's seen that T-side contact. We'll back up to check the stairs just in case, but as he realizes there's nothing to the B side, the stacks will come through. They'll hold the defensive. 30 seconds. Winstrike will be unable to rotate. Bomb plant tapped once. Now they know for certainty. Nades on. Molotov's backing. It's Crizzen's part of things. Keeping away, they know that they're heavily tagged up, I believe. Nickelback gets that one. Frank Lollipop on one of the trades there with the M4. Flash keeps Prison blind. He drops, and so does the bomb. Out in the open. Lion and Lackey got to fight to get back this control when they're falling like flies. Orp left alone, catches Joe, but now Lollipop's lurking. 5 seconds will play for the after-time kill. 1 second, Spray just comes in time, so a Lion with a lucky break, but that's Nemiga with a 9.
9 in a row. I just can't believe this has happened. Winstrike finally going to use their second tactical just to kind of get something on the board. And for Nemiga, they just had so much info in that round, Jay. We saw massive hyper-aggression down to ramp to start it off. The nades were perfect. That's something we haven't seen from Nemiga. We've seen them get aggressive. We've seen them try and take a bit of ramp control, but not deep like that. That was the first time we've seen it. And they clear out B, they bring the rotations over to A. Crizzen even tries to fake out the bomb plant, draw out the utility. And even with the utility, Jay, he didn't even have a chance of getting back in for a bomb plant. There were so many flashes to follow after the initial Molotov and HE.
Oh man, Nemiga in full control of this one. Winstrike. A force back here to round 15 to try and get something together. AWP in for speed up will take that first contact. Nades up from his opponent, or from his teammates, I should say. Will catch that early player taking that face in. Now watching the alleyway with Joe on this position as usual. Had a great defensive sequence from here. And now with a great opportunity to do the same right here against the Winstrike side. They're not leaning in too early. They are passive on ramp. And Nemiga tempting to face forward. I mean, they're spraying through the wall, and now they're starting to aggress. They could catch off an early headshot with utility in the hands of the only player that faces.
Box at least finds a little bit of a return, so they find the opening kill for Nemiga, but look at Winstrike. They've been able to at least get Nickel back into this mid position. This is far aggressive than we've seen from them before. Flashbang going in. Now they've got a chance to split into B.
MDS holding back. Nickelback comes up with 2 good frags, but he's lurking. Takes face as Box gets Nickelback. Lucky falls to follow. A Lion left alone. Bomb out in the open. Conceded by the P sign and eventually executed by Box. 3K to his name. 10-5 for the Nemiga to close out the half. Their T side is up after the break.
And so is my soul, yeah. I won't take no excuses for it. Love it, need it, live it. I feel like something's missing when I do not have it. I feel it in my bones, gotta find my space. These emotions on my face, taking a toll, I gotta pay it forward. I'll give it all that I can. No matter what, I won't let up. It's in my soul, it's in my blood. And I won't take no for an answer. If it don't hurt me, it makes me stronger. Yeah. No what, I won't let up. It's in my soul, it's in my blood. And I won't take it no more. I won't be there. Just leave it to me. I know what I need. You'll find if you see. And if you believe, you live and you breathe, you'll find the key. Lifting me, lifting you. Can't go alone, let's do by two. Doing this together, it's me by you. All through the night, all through the night. This is me, this is you. When we get together, we can all pull through. I don't ever wanna stop this groove. Let's get it right. Take it to the Lord, then take it to the grave. Listen to the wise man, tell me what to say. Listen to your heartbeat like it still bleed. A little bit of hope, yeah, it's what we still need. Say a little prayer for the moment. Give what you got, just go in. Can't hold you back if you own it. Live your life like it's chosen. No matter what, I won't let up. It's in my soul, it's in my blood. And I won't take no for an answer. If it don't hurt me, it makes me stronger. Yeah, no what, I won't let up. It's in my soul, it's in my blood. And I won't take it no more.
10-5 for Nemiga, 10-5 rounds in a row. Winstrike got the first few, and Nemiga came right back into control. That is something I think I've ever seen, actually, now that I think about it. It's definitely not something that brings to mind when it comes to notable results. And for this T side now, going into their T side, Nemiga could dominate Winstrike off the back of this. This is Winstrike's map pick, and Nemiga hold a real good chance to close this out in 2 if they can secure this pistol and continue with the pressure. A Lion back up with the USP. They're going to take that first frag as they don't check all their corners. He gets himself 2 overall. Joe and Ollie put the fall out here to the USP. Flashing him in 2 more. Blind, shaky aim. Can't quite find that third frag. He does in the end. And shoulder bait out to pop speed now. All left to MDS in a 1v4, and Winstrike look to at least claim some early control.
Oh, Nemiga try and go quick out from ramp. MDS is the last one left, and they're able to goosh down Nickelback. A Lion sort of stuck in a corner, and you're thinking, all right, maybe he gets 1 or 2 here, gets traded. He finds a couple of kills, stays alive for so long that it allows the follow flashbangs to continue out from his teammate at Bondek. And from here, a Lion just did so much damage. 4 kills with the USP, 7 HP. You would have thought it would have got traded, Jay, but not a chance. A Lion coming up absolutely huge in the pistol.
Massive round. Massive round for Winstrike, because it breaks that 10-round win streak of Nemiga. They could have carried it in off the back of it. No bomb plant either means just pistols coming in for the next round. A Lion in against Joe. Quickly dropped him that M4A1S straight through to spray to the head. Kickstarting this one for the Winstrike side, of course, needing the confidence to come through from these rifles. SMG still in for Mars and M4 being the main heavy lifters. And Winstrike now up against passive control from Nemiga.
Lucky wants to get a little bit aggressive towards the B stand. Now, he's been able to send a couple of players follow up flashbangs. They might even want to continue this aggression. They've got some info that Nemiga are at least stacked up towards the B stairs area. Crossfire being set between Lucky and Chris, and nice and easy. So much damage now going the way of the T side. They're down to just 3 players.
Nades on, Lollipop and Speed Act tagged. Lucky waiting back with his SMG. Box with the Tech 9 looking up position, the smoke at the ready. Lucky moves up, splits back to that head, gets the kill. Prison can double up, and Lucky does not quite find the frag on the second player, but that's okay. Nickelback has his back. Box to go down. Nemiga forced by, dealt with, Eco coming through.
And we saw only quite recently for Winstrike against Hellraisers, their second game in IEM New York, struggling on Vertigo, their own map pick, only getting 4 rounds up on that T side where they started. They got a little bit of a better scoreline now against the Nemiga side, and going to the CT side, they have been able to get off to a good start. And trying to close the distance in terms of the deficit of rounds. Not much of an investment to come out from Nemiga, just a couple of upgraded pistols across the board.
Those P250s and Deagles could still do some damage. Nemiga hoping to post up some frags on the board, at least to limit the economy state of Winstrike. If they can do that, they can reset them later and continue to hold the lead and start to build it going into the last few phases of the matchup. Bondek losing Nickelback on the first contact. Are they going to read this corner position? They better do so. That's a spray from Bondek to take speed. That's 4v4. Trading against the bomb partner of Lion. Gets himself 2 frags of his own right. Bondek with 3. Plenty of money cleaned up there. 8 to the board of Winstrike, and the buyer comes back from Nemiga.
Look, massive money coming up for the Winstrike side. So many kills from those SMGs. A little bit surprised that they actually reinvest in for Mars of Nickelback rather than maybe dropping an AWP over to a Lion to go into round 19. They want to take this as a little bit of a bonus, but I would have thought that the AWP would have liked to have come out as early as possible. But for Winstrike, they say, you know what, we'll give it a little bit of time until that AWP comes out.
Damage being done in minimal amounts by the utility here against Nickelback. MDS box. He's on the CT side, nade back from the T's as well. Joe trying to go for an awkward wall back here towards the outside of the B site. No one's going to be able to receive it. No one's there to take damage for the Winstrike side. Distorting passive deep into the bomb sites themselves. With aggression from Nemiga coming out towards the ramp position, Winstrike is there to meet them head on as well.
Yeah, MDS is trying to have a bit of a lurk over to this B bomb side, but Nemigas are going to start to take back this ramp control. Big damage done to the T side, and Nickelback, he's in a one and done position here, Jay. He needs to be able to find a couple of kills. Surely someone's going to check this on the T side.
Straight through, catches, goes. See, that comes up with one. Nickelback makes it a double, but Lollipop trades him at last. 3-on-2 now for the Nemiga side. A little over 40 seconds, the bomb gets recovered now by Speedak, and Crism watches out with the FAMAS backed up here towards the alley entrance. Watching that back line there at the safe spot. 30 seconds, the Molotovs start coming through. There's only this one player. This AK can deal with this frag. It can be an open sight, and indeed it is. Lucky left alone. SMG in a 1-on-3. Considering the retake, because they are heavily tagged up here, he's got the kit, he's just got no utility.
Yeah, look, they've got the money, so he might as well try and attempt to go for it, but how successful he's going to be is going to be a very difficult affair. Even trying to push around the smoke, not going to happen. Speedak finding 2 kills. And Nemiga, they find a response, Jay. It's not long before Winstrike's few rounds in a row gets ended, and they bring that AWP out for a Lion. Nemiga get back on the board with an 11th round. And you've got to think for Winstrike, this is really the perfect buy. They've got kits, they've got pretty much full utility sets, M4s, and an AWP. This is a really strong buy from both sides.
And 11-8. AKs, AWPs in, M4s cross the Winstrike board, and the utility in mostly full sets. A Lion looking downrange with his big green gun, hoping to get something out of this first contact. Won't see any of the T-side forces though. Nemiga. Smoke on Incendiary's back. Forced away from ramp control by Winstrike's utility base. So far it's working, but Nemiga can still gain control in the late round.
Well, damage onto the CT side in terms of spam and nades. It looks like Winstrike have still got a pretty big intent, though, of aggressing out from ramp, and they don't want to give it up. They want to continue trying to fight here. Reliant only finds 1 on the trade, but Box finds 3 kills on the entry, and now he charges his way into the A bomb side looking for a 4th, and he's going to find it!
Box! Playing outside the box, he wrecks everybody on the CT side, straight up through ramp. 3 kills out of the alley entrance, and that final 4th frag on the last A-side defender. They know they've won this round. They're already back at the safe spot. Lucky's not going to bother with this. Back to mid, back to T-spawn, save the M4. This is a 12 for Nemiga.
Okay. Wow, what a round to come out from Box. And normally if there's any player on this lineup that has like a round like that, you normally expect it to be Lollipop, but well, Box just charges up, and after he finds that 3 kills, he's got so much confidence to even look in for more, even with damage done to him. Makes it a 4K. 12 on the board for Nemiga. They've reset the economy line too for Winstrike. It has to be an eco around this safety in M4. They can't force off the back of it. You would expect, at least. I know that CIS teams really do like to go for the force buys, Jay, but I would not like to see it in this round.
And our survey says...
Eco.
No force buy. Okay. All right. Good, good. M4 for Lucky is going to be the only thing in play. Yeah, I know, just to hold your breath on this one, just to wait to see whether Winstrike do it. Deagle's out, UXPs, P2Ks. From Nemiga, this could mean a 13th, unless Lucky goes nuclear. Right around the corner, Box will take that frag very quickly for the AKs. They do line up a little bit, getting in each other's way. No gets it a 2-for-1 as the Lion can respond back, but 2 frags for him as Nickelback goes down next to Lion and Chris, and last 2 players left very far away from contact positions. One already rotating back to the ace line in general. And wrap around the corner, AK Jax, there's Lollipop with his kill. Joe follows through with a 3K. Eco cleaned up, 13-8. Winstrike back on the rifles.
The thing is, though, they haven't really given themselves enough breathing room. Yeah, they got off to a great start. You know, one thing to kind of consider, too, is that they, had a 5-0 start on the T side and then 3-0 on the CT side. So they actually haven't got any rounds outside of the opening start to the halves. And I think that's where Winstrike have sort of crumbled the most, is it's when you get to, like, those mid sort of gun rounds of being able to convert them. No kit on the CT side. They get away with another AWP for a Lion, and Box has just got so much confidence. Jay swinging out from mid, no assistance whatsoever, and Kristen finds a simple easy kill.
Nickelback through the smoke as well. Gets
Ooh,
lollipop
yeah.
to fall. That's a good spray. Catches that bomb plant, he won't know about that part, but he does know he's got a 5v3 for his team. Smokes down to cover off the rest of the ramp control. He's pushed forward of it. Is he going to get a flash in from a teammate? It looks like he might want to hold towards the corner. Indeed, Nemiga getting back out of dodge, back over towards the B site contact, hoping to overwhelm Lackey, who's the only player here to receive it. Second rotations could be inbound, but if they act quick enough, Nemiga can still overwhelm a single individual.
Now, there is a little bit of a window here where they haven't had eyes out into that mid position, so it means that Lackey may have his attention pulled away once Bondic starts to rotate in, but the backstab coming out from Crizzen works out beautifully for Winstrike to finally convert one of those rounds outside of the lead of the start of the half. So they get their 9th, Jay. Another full buy coming in for both sides. And you know what's a little bit surprising? That in both the T side and the CT side, for both first half and second half, Jay, haven't really seen the AWPs being prevalent at all. Only 7 kills to go the way of Speedak. I know Alion's been getting a 17, but not a lot of them have been with that AWP.
Yeah, and the automatic weapons have been working wonders for the T side especially. Double orb setups coming in for the Winstrike side. They still set up something towards a Lion, and for the Nemiga, they're going to have Speedak still playing on that weapon. Out towards the A contact on that ramp control, hoping to catch that first face against Nickelback. We can get that shot off, then that would be a fantastic opener, but he's going to force them away with damage being done by this AK.
A good start for Nickelback, and there's certainly a difference in intent for Winstrike on their CT side. You can see that they'd like to try and hold on for the ramp control for as long as possible, where for Nemiga it seemed like they were trying to take it in the early rounds and then just giving it up later. Winstrike have got 2 players around this ramp position. Nemiga, though, trying to see if they can get something over the smoke. Speedak's just waiting for an over-aggressive swing.
Got a tight angle to hold. Have to get very overly aggressive for Winstrike if they're going to give up that angle. AWP still hunting just above the smokes. Another one's gone down, so it's going to cover it off even more so. He just can't seem to find that angle for the CTs to work with. Finally gets Bondic, drops him, opens things up, forces rotations to the CT side. The bomb's still out there towards the ramp position, so they got to come and challenge on towards it. Nickelback will get a kill. Lollipop finds that trade, so now A site is relatively open, but Joe and MDS are lurking towards the B plane. This might be a last second rotation. They got to get this kill, and the headshot comes down and flicks towards it. Second player on stack, lining up damage. No kills on Joe or MDS. The bomb plant can just about come through. The incendiary will stop it, but the smoke's there to counter.
Oh, HG towards a default position. Oh, it actually bounces the other way, Jay. I think there could have been an opportunity of trying to deny that bomb plant from going down. Missed utility for Winstrike, and I tell you what, that was one of the most insane shots we've seen. Probably one of the best shots we've seen this entire map. Joe, the flick onto the back orange position to open up that B bomb site. You could see what he was trying to do there. Nemiga was able to get a pick from Speedak over towards that ramp position. Another one-on-one trade came out from an aggressive player. And he's just a lurk at B to say, right, if I can take down this B defender, we can just rotate to B. It's going to be completely opened up. Trying to go hunting to see if they can take down any of these saving CTs, but Alliant and Crizzen going to hold on to their rifles. 14-9, Nemiga are getting closer and closer to the lucky 16.
Yeah, 2 more rounds to go, and they could force the issue right here. They're forcing the issue on the Winstrike side. Bondic's investing. Lackey and Nickelback are set to follow a Lion. M4 dropped towards Nickelback. I believe he's still got something in play. What have Winstrike got for him? Or is it just a pistol? No, the AWP is on the floor. Okay, that's fine. Big green guns out. None for the Nemiga side. Again, the AKs have been doing wonders, but Speedak did open up the last round with the AWP. Playing a much more spread apart default this time around. A bit of aggression in towards the ramp control. The incendiaries will try to force them forward or back. Here to the sandbags. One player makes his way up. Spot that one player. A Lion getting tagged low, 48 HP. No trades back, no damage to return. They continue to get spammed up through this wall, and Nemiga will get away with a slight HP advantage.
Oh, Lion gets very lucky there. There was a lot of spam to his position. The bullet's not quite connecting. They do take him down to half HP, but Box really gets the same treatment. And now maybe a lean into the mid control. Both teams on this T side really just disregarding mid, not taking a lot of control around it. A player in towards this connected position of Crizzen, the molly. Oh, it's not going to spread to his position.
The nade lands too far as well. He'll counter and catch them off line. 3 players go blind as well. Crizin gets box to go, but Joe finds that trade to a 4-on-4. 10 HP for him. And the AK still looks to enter around the corner here. 3 players towards B-side contact. And Bodnik and Nickelback and Crizin hold their own. MDS turns back on Lackey though. Gets a trade back. 3-on-2 scenario. And Bomb is in CT control. They've got the challenge directly. A Lion will get MDS. And Speedak caught in the midst of the token fade. This play is awkward. Does damage to 2. Unable to get either kill. And Winstrike can stay alive.
I'll tell you what, Crizin did a fantastic job, an amazing job, to say the least, from Winstrike. First of all, the molly doesn't spread to his position, the nade doesn't touch him, and he swings out with his own flashbang, drops that bomb, gets the information, and rather than re-peeking, rather than being aggressive, he just falls back to CT, waits for his teammates to start to rotate in. They establish a crossfire on the site. The split comes in from Nemiga, out from Connector, and from the B stairs. Winstrike shut it down, put 10 rounds up on the board. Finally, they get to double digits.
The line with the opening frag at the CT side. Joe will take Crizin back to return. 4-on-4, making it 3 for Nemiga. Lackey trades 1 player back on Joe. Gets the line. Turns around for the triple and lands that as well. Box standing alone now with his teammates dead all around him. Back towards Ram, going to lean in against the Lions part of things. He'll get himself 2 frags, but it's Lackey, the hero of the B site, securing the round for Winstrike.
It's down to Lackey to really step up. Been on this lineup for a very long time now, over a year, I believe. But that round right there was just so massive, because you've got to think, if he gets 1 kill and gets traded, they probably still lose the round. Nemiga did a really great job on the entries. They had a great opening man advantage. They were trying to push very quickly into that B side. Okay. Now it's going to come down to the wire, I think, Jay.
Indeed, it looks to be close still. Nemiga still 2 rounds away from the win. Winstrike come back and try to take that lead away, deny Nemiga that opportunity. 3 rounds the difference to the lead, and an eco should turn it to a 2 differential, so both teams within touching distance of their necessary goals. Winstrike's playing carefully around these pistols, hoping that they've bought heavy, so that way they can play this passive to overwhelm the Nemiga side and get rid of any investment that they found in this one. Just Glocks for this round, a Deagle Lab with Joe being the heaviest weapon they have at the moment. Bond taking contact up towards Ali, but so far not finding anything.
Yeah, the Glocks, I mean, if they can get a kill, even a bomb plant's going to be a really tough ask. Certainly can't expect too much damage to come through, especially when they line up like that. And a Lion, well, it might be against an eco round, Jay, but his AWP is looking pretty on point.
Yeah, bomb dropped down on ramp now. Bondic and a Lion making it 4 kills for the AWP. Unreal stuff for him. The Lion has started to come alive here with this AWP. 24 kills so far in this matchup, above and beyond anything that any of the other Winstrike players are posting up at this stage. And top fragger in the server, by the way. Nemiga getting by spreading out their kills across most of their big fraggers, and need to just push those talents a little bit further, a little bit closer to the edge to just get to 16. The AKs, the AWPs back out speed. That's going to look for that opening kill in towards the ramp position. The flashbangs over, the contact established. Bondic grenade up, 1 player still close towards him, and he just to get that headshot. Big start for Winstrike.
Yeah, great kill coming out for Bondic. A missed alley smoke from the T side for Nemiga meant that peek coming in from Bondic was so much easier. And you're right about a Lion stepping up. I think the counterpart is obviously Speedak having a very quiet game, to say the least, especially in this second half. 5-on-4 advantage to come out for the Winstrike side. Nemiga, they have been able to at least get 3 players out from ramp, but they need to be able to find a trade. They need to try and bring it back into a 4-on-4. And are they even just going to fall back? They've got a lurk out from mid, but for Nemiga, not a lot of map territory for them now.
Now these AKs setting to try and do the heavy lifting. The damage has been done already, though. The first frag has been found to Joe. Bondic And to deal that damage, still playing on the A site as they wrap around towards B. Lackey has been stellar on this defensive. AK taps up, he sprays and gets 2 kills for it. 2 standing, now 1 standing. A 3K for Lackey once again on the sequence. MDS chimes in with 2 frags. We've got to work even further into this B site. 2 more players to isolate. He gets Lackey as well. 35 HP against Prison. Oh, MDS is clutching this. 15 seconds to get back to the bomb. Picks up the M4, but he's got a plant towards the B site. Grabs that now, moves in, and little does he know that Alliance watching with a 5-7 in hand. M4 checks the position, sprays through, can't get a bomb plant in time, and Alliance knows it. He's backing up to keep the round together. A fantastic clutch attempt from MDS, but it was just not enough.
Oh, he did everything, Jay. He did absolutely everything. If he had another 5 seconds to work with, there could have been a chance there, but the time's so low. Try to take the fight, realizes there's no time for the bomb plant. What was that, a 1v5 attempt coming out from MDS to turn it into a 1 versus 1? Winstrike still converted, but you've got to expect Nickelback is having some tough words. There was no need for that to come down to the wire like it did.
Tactical call by Nemiga, the 3rd tactical of the T side so far. Nemiga with their first in this matchup, and it's come at the right moment at this stage. The buy-up is going to look awkward with an M4 in place of an AK. And right now, Nemiga, they've got to focus on trying to get that last round on the board. Winstrike are going to equalize here, and they can go further if they shut down every weapon of the T-side force buy. Meanwhile, on their own side of things, there's a heavy investment from Winstrike. They're going to have to force drops from Lion and Co. So Nemiga have a chance to turn the tide back to their favor. Tip scales over to their side. They just need to come up with a good execution, a good round here against Winstrike. And again, they're facing heavy resistance from the utility. 3 players on this A, default for Winstrike, just keeping them held back, passive at ramp.
Oh, big nade going on to Joe, and even for Bondic playing a bit of an off angle, and Joe just peeks straight into it. Bondic again, some great opening kills coming out from this alley position. Looking for a little bit more, it's not going to happen as Lollipop tries to swing through the smoke. This could be a little bit quicker now to the A bomb site for Nemiga.
Lion round to that corner, AWP focused on. Prison moves in, and Lion gonna get flashed out. The contact against Nickelback goes well for Lollipop here. AWP looking for that 1 headshot, and Lion needs to land through 6 shots. He's been doing that so far today. M4 forced around the corner, flashbang in, smoke down. There comes MDS with a frag from Prison. A Lion once again pressed to the back of a corner. Contact established from 1 player over on the B side, gonna cut off those rotations. So it's all left to the AWP. The Deagler box sees that player, looks towards the Lion, spams through, gets him, and grabs the AWP now. 1 on 3. Plant secured. Lackey with it all to do to deny a map point from Nemiga. He'll creep in from main, but he smoke suppressed him with little utility.
He's got to save, surely. I mean, look at the money on the reserve. Krisen's so low, Lackey too. And Bondic and Nickelback don't have a massive amount between them. Yeah, Lion's got a lot, but he's going to be wanting that AWP into the next round. I think it's best for Lackey to hold on to this AUG. Winstrike. Finally given up the map point. Lucky. Is he going to go for this? The smoke down onto the bomb. He's got a kid. He's going to try and go for the defuse tray. He's holding the defuse. Oh! Okay. And they take 2 players out. More of the T side. Only 1 survives. So you actually look at the buy coming in for Nemiga going into round 29. It's going to be very limited. That was actually a really big play to come out for Lucky, even though they didn't win the round.
Yeah, that Ninja had a lot more impact than one might think. Yes, they don't win the round, you're right about that, but that's a lot of investment that Nemiga took in that force buy round from the last one. With the economy being so low on MDS already, the buyback is going to look dire for Nemiga. I dare say that Winstrike are going to have a better buy. 3 M4s in, 2 AKs out already. Box has got to go down to Galil and Mac 10 for Lollipop. A Lion was dropping weapons, so there may be more rifles to work with on the CT side. And that's 2 Mac 10s total for Nemiga. So, yeah, I'd rate this a better buy already for Winstrike. There's probably more to come. Yeah, AWP on that floor. 1 player's going to have to go Deagle in Prison. A match point still favors the Nemiga gaming side, though. All they have to do is get this next round on the board. 1 good default to execution against Winstrike. And this time they play towards mid control.
The thing is, though, Jay, there's only one player with head Kevlar. This is looking to be really quick coming out for Nemiga into the B split by the looks of things. No, they're actually going to wrap around towards the A bomb site. That's where Nickelback is getting that first kill. A line now setting up a crossfire. The bomb being dropped, and Nemiga go for something very, very quick into the split around from mid to A, and it doesn't work out at all.
Every player falling except for Box down towards the T ramps as all individuals that rushed that mid control decimated on Nemiga. Heavy investment. They tried something quick and it absolutely did not work. 1-on-4 for Box to recover this bomb in CT control. Starting to lean up towards the B-side positions where the AK of prisoners ready to take place. Looks that angle, sees that head, unable to get that shot up against him. And Box desperate to try and burst through, take a frag back, does catch that one kill, but takes so much damage for it. This is going to be 14 for Winstrike. There's just no way. There is no way that Box clutches this. If he had 100 HP, I'd give him credit, but he knows it. He's back over in T-spawn. He's saving.
He's got to. The thing is, like, the money's just, it's so bad for the T side too. Winstrike. It certainly was a slow start to Vertigo, especially once they, that streak of 5 rounds in a row on that T side was ended, and Nemiga looked like they're on top form. A couple of really strong rounds towards the late section of this second half has allowed this comeback to come through from Winstrike. And I'm sort of looking at this sort of position going into round 30, and you've got to think, like, what can Nemiga bring? They tried something very, very aggressive in that last round, and it didn't really work out at all. Lollipop will be able to buy an AK for himself, but it's going to be down to, like, the Galils and MAC-10s again.
A third tactical coming in for Nemiga. Overtime is on the table for this map up. The AKs, the M4s, they all come out. Forced investment from both sides has got to come through. Winstrike may have taken a beating, but they're going to look better than Nemiga at this stage. Economy game has been such a struggle for the T side, and it will look to be the same here. Only 3 rifles to work with. 2 M4s, sorry, 2 AKs, 1 M4. Same can be said for both sides at this stage here. Winstrike have got the rifles out to work with, but the AWP from Alliant backs it up.
Now the double deagles to come out from MDS and Speedak. Nemiga taking some early control by the looks of things out towards a ramp default. Looking to even try push through the CT smoke. Box is taking a lot of damage to this incendiary and realizes, you know what, it's better off that I just fall back and play passive instead. Follow up nade too.
Another one as well to Joe. They get something to respond back on Nickelback, but all in all, Winstrike have won the health advantage. Flash in might allow a peek. They'll catch one player blind. Lollipop is dealt with by a Lion though. And the M4 of Bondic sneaks around that corner, catches Joe to the 4v3 now. Winstrike in full control. Player advantage, weapon advantage. Speedak could pick up a drop rifle, and indeed he does grab one of the AKs. But he's going to do a massive amount of work in a 4v3. Nemiga need to find a trade.
Yeah, they absolutely do. Lion has actually pressed up pretty aggressive. Nemiga, though, 50 seconds on the clock. Now, they've got 2 smokes. They can go for the cross smokes towards the A bomb side, but they need to deal with the Lion first before Bondic on the side. But Box is able to deal with Bondic. Do they know about a Lion? They know that he must have been in this position. Someone's got to be checking it.
Bob ready to face, looks up, catches that one point, a big frag to find, looks in for the second, and he shut it down. Big trades for Nemiga, but a Lion still to clutch it. MDS pushing forward, trying to catch that player in the back line. Knows that AWP is there somewhere. Spray through does his damage, but now Lucky's looking at the other side. 15 seconds, the pressure is on. And MDS can't find an angle to work with. 10 seconds remaining. Bomb comes out. AWP shot misses. He sticks to the defuse this time. And Alliance shuts it out. 15 all. We go to overtime after this very short break.
Seeing the stars reminds me of you. Oh, oh, oh. You left me with scars, but I know that one day you'll see it through. You give me air to breathe, you give me light to see. Oh, when things are out of reach, you bring them back to me, back to me. You see it through, you see it through, eh. You see it through, you see it through. Talking to myself and I can't focus. Yeah, I'm broken. The door is closing. Wanna be a part of something more than this. I've lost control of it. I've lost control. You give me air to breathe. You give me light to see. Oh, when things are out of reach, you bring them back to me, back to me. You see it through, you see it through, eh. You see it through, you see it through.
I don't wanna fight it. It's time to let it go. It's time to lose your inhibition, developing a blind ambition. If you got a match, just go ahead and light it. I wanna see where this is going. We're done with playing games, not knowing, yeah. We've nothing to lose. We lost it that night. We're feeling alright. There's no need to choose. Don't make up your mind. We're feeling alright. 1, 2, 3, 4. Gonna do it like this. Gonna do it like that. Everybody's on that. Gonna do it like this. Yeah, we never look back. Oh, got the bodies on tap. Getting rowdy on it. Getting cloudy on it. Got me on the right track. Yeah, you got me on it. Gonna do it like this, cause that's the way we want it. Gonna do it like this. Gonna do it like that. Gonna do it like this. Yeah, we never look back. The shots on my tab. Everybody's on that. Getting cloudy on it. Yeah, we do it like this, cause I like it like that. Yeah. We're going through the motions, in super slow motion. It's time to lose your inhibition, developing a blind ambition. Fire it up, ignite it. I don't wanna fight it no more. I wanna see where this can go. I'm done with playing around, not knowing, yeah. We've nothing to lose. We lost it that night. We're feeling alright. Feeling alright. My eyes are on you, and yours are on mine. We're feeling just fine. Just let it go. Gonna do it like this, gonna do it like that. Everybody's on that, gonna do it like this. we've been friends for a long time now. Always have a good time whenever we go out. But you've been calling me up all the time and sending me signs and giving me them eyes. And you've been saying that you found the one, texting me junk and you wanna talk, but you can't say why. I can't get there and you know I've tried. You know I don't wanna waste your time. City lights, I'm looking in your eyes, but I can't say why. It doesn't feel right to call you mine. You know I don't wanna waste your time. I can't get there and you know I've tried, but I can't say why. Feeling lost like I just wanna time back time. I'm choked up, tell me how do I say this right? Cause you've been calling me up all the time and sending me signs and giving me them eyes. And you've been saying that you found the one, texting me drunk and you wanna talk, but you can't say why. I can't get there and you know I've tried. You know I don't wanna waste your time. City lights, I'm looking in your eyes, but I can't say why. Doesn't feel right to call you mine. You know I don't wanna waste your time. I can't get there and you know I've tried, but I can't say why. But I can't say why. I can't get there and you know I've tried. You know I don't wanna waste your time. City lights, I'm looking in your eyes, but I can't say why. Doesn't feel right to call you mine. You know I don't wanna waste your time. I can't get there and you know I've tried, but I can't say why. But I can't say
I might be tired at the stones they throw, picking up scars and I hold them close. They shot me down, but I got this far. Shine a light on me when my heart goes dark. Cause I'll never lose faith now. I'm in the flames of an angel. Fire, fire, burn.
I'm so sorry that I wasn't really there for me. Cause nobody else is showing any empathy. Rudely awake and quiet undertaking. Did I do something wrong? Life isn't easy. Why did you leave me here with my thoughts alone? I don't wanna wake up messed up, cause I can't spend another day like this. Another type of caked up breakup, where I've been finding any way to my fix. But I need you now, cause I don't wanna be around. No, I don't wanna wake up messed up. There's gotta be another way past this. I'm so sorry that I didn't go to therapy. Thinking everybody, even you's an enemy. Brutally awake and quiet undertaking. Did not do nothing wrong. Life isn't easy. Why did you leave me here to get drunk alone? And I don't wanna wake up messed up, cause I can't spend another day like this. Another type of caked up breakup, where I've been finding any way to my fix. But I need you now, cause I don't wanna be around. No, I don't wanna wake up messed up. There's gotta be another way past this. If I am so wrong and so gone, miserable, won't you stick around just for some be visible? But you don't know, you don't care. Leave me to suffer, erase all the doubt. Pouring Jack in my mouth, in a love with enough of the pain and the drugs to be present for now. All I might know, I don't wanna wake up messed up, cause I can't spend another day like this. Another type of caked up breakup, where I've been finding any way to my fix. But I need you now, cause I don't wanna be around. No, I don't wanna wake up messed up. There's gotta be another way past this.
Leave it all in the past, 'cause the war isn't over yet. You lost one fight, but it's not the end. So get back up and fight again. Take one step.
Well, apologies for the extended break due to technical issues, but we're still ready to go here with this overtime between Nemiga and Winstrike to fill you in. The comeback from the CT side of Winstrike has brought us back to an even standing, and we go the distance on map 1 of our best of 3. So here we go. M4's out, AWP's in, full sets of buys. The AK's out for the most part here on the Nemiga side. Still odds favoring them at GG Bet. For good reason as well. They did have a manic comeback and a set of great rounds over on both the CT and D halves. Winstrike able to respond to the opening couple of kills. Nickelback with 2 against BDAC and Box.
Good response coming in from Nickelback. It was a great opening kill to come out from Speedak to try and take down the AWP for that CT side of a Lion, but Nickelback makes an aggressive play. Now, he didn't spot out that bomb, but got very aggressive now picking up that AWP. The in-game leader of Winstrike now stepping up, and Winstrike had a really decent comeback. They came down from a deficit of 9-14, bring it to overtime, and looking to close out the first round in OT too. Only one kill going the way from the Nemiga camp. This is all falling apart. It's all come down to one player. It's Nickelback.
Yeah, 3 simple frags found. 7 HP for him. He can leave his teammates to do the rest of the damage. They know exactly where MDF is. The 1v4 for him. Gets that first headshot and that second, but unable to follow suit with the third. Bondic there for the second face in at the same time with the trade. 16-15 for Winstrike, claiming the lead at the turn of the first round.
And what I love too here for Nickelback is that he picked up the AWP from his teammate and even just finds more impact. A really big round to come out for Nickelback. For Nemiga, you've got to think, which way does that sort of sway, right? You know, we had a little bit of an extended pause there, Jay. Is the momentum now broken for the Winstrike side? Is it back in their court? Well, at least what is in their court is a lead going into the second round of overtime.
As M4's out, the AK's standard AWP for a Lion. Burst through the utility of the Winstrike side. The defuse kits in for most players. Head Kevlar also out. A Lion keeps his eyes on. Here towards the mid control, that AWP is ready to receive. Unable to find any contact as of right now. It's to this box out towards Rap, kicking things off against Bondic, trying to force forward as he has done in the past alongside Speedak Kid towards the main entrance. 5-on-4 scenario, putting utility and starting to back up to put even more down. Nades up to respond, do the damage here. ET's being overwhelmed now. Spectrum kill can come through the box and the bomb plant can be received.
I'll tell you what, they've still got a lurk play though coming out from Joe. We're yet to sort of see this come out and be successful. He's done a really good job of getting into the backlines, but MDS on the side itself is exploding with a couple of kills. Nemiga, that was so chaotic, and I would have thought they would have tried to slow it down to allow that mid play to come through from Joe, but they don't even need it. So much utility comes through. I think there's like 3 players from the T side just spamming the smokes, and in the end, Nemiga just gets some really great entries to start off.
Yeah, 16 all, Nemiga back in the game, if you will. Utility out to play out towards the ramp position. Look at Nickelback here with the SMG up close and personal. Backed up here towards the alley scaffolding area. AK sat on, but no contact received, no kills, no damage. Blind sprays through smokes, but all in all, very little coming out from both sides here.
Hey, you've got to think too, that heavy investment in the last couple of rounds for Winstrike with the AWP, especially with MR3 10k, means that there's going to be 2 players on MP9s. That's Lucky and Nickelback. And Bondic, oh, he's just trying to bait his teammate there from Alliance. So they might not know about Bondic's position, but it's still an opening kill from Nemiga.
Back with a kill. Bondic follows suit. Speed up with the AWP. Dealt with as Bondic gets a nice double. Traded back by the AWP through the scaffolding. 2-on-2. M4. Checking left, checking right. Speedak starting to creep closer. Only one player to defend this A site for the moment. We'll call in for backup in Lackey. Nice towards mid or on site. Down range, but only 30 seconds for the bomb to be received, and they've got an open bomb plant here. There's no way that Winstrike can defend against this. They've got to go for the retake here.
Yeah, Krisen's going to move in towards the sniper's nest, and the information's going to come through. He's allowed to be able to retake, rotate his teammate in, I should say. Cross smokes down, bomb plant to come through. MDS has taken a fair bit of damage to the spam, though. Where did Nemiga start to reposition? They've still got a few flashbangs to work between them. Both players going to the alley angle.
AWP Speedak, 3 kills so far, up for the ace. Looks on site, smoke will start to clear. Will he catch that player? Yes, he will. 4 kills. Now Lucky left alone. No kit into this SMG. MR3 10k will do that to you. He's sticking to the fuse regardless. Speedak just went peeking in, and he lands the flick, blind on the smoke to get a full-blown ace to get Nemiga the half at 17-16.
And honestly, Jay, that's got to be so much confidence for Speedak. He was 9 and 17 at the end of round 30. He's come into overtime and been able to get 6 kills in just 3 rounds. An ace in the last. And maybe that's just what they need now. You've got to think that in overtime, it's really the T side that's been the weakest for both sides, only being able to get 5 T rounds in regulation. The fact that Nemiga's already got 2 on the T side going into their CT side does give them a big advantage.
Ops in, AK's out. Nemiga, of course, on this first round buy-up, looking to try and turn over this 18th. If they can get this, then they will be on map point on their opponent's map pick. Winstrike initially looked to be so confident on this map up, but falling apart in the regulation. Now looking to fall apart here in overtime as well. They have suppressed passively. Nemiga keeping Winstrike at bay. They just only start to take some stairs control and look towards the B site here.
A little bit of early utility to come out from Winstrike. Now, there's a player playing back towards the quad position of MDS. He's got 2 teammates in from mid. They're going to actually gamble stack up this B bomb side. This is a really strong read coming out from Nemiga.
Speedak. Down to the corner here, AWP looking to get boosted up. They've got a flash going over and evade. That's focus in, sees that AWP contact, but unable to get the kill on it. Starts to round that corner. Expecting a player to be over at the wood corner as well. Doesn't face against him though. Utility starts coming through. Any flashes that Baymod out headshot seen, not landed. Focuses in on Lackey. The timing of Flickerback's flashbang is going to be good enough though. MDS in the backlines. Lollipop comes up with 1 kill. He's walked right past him. MDS doesn't see him. He sees the bomb though. Turns around for 3. And MDS stands tall on the backs of the Winstrike dead bodies. 18-16. Map point for Nemiga again.
Oh, no Molly goes out to quad. They don't even check the angle, and MDS, this is just easy pickings. The first 2 kills even follows up onto a third onto a Lion. And Nemiga have now got to map point once again, Jay. Up 18-16, Winstrike. Have got 2 in a row to bring this to a second OT. This is going to be a very, very tough ask for them on their own map pick.
Speedak opening up the round. What may well be the final round of this map. Quickly picking apart Lackey. And the CT side look to push past the level that they were able to find over in regulation. Remember, they got those 10 rounds in a row. They're going to make it 3 rounds in a row right here to close out the map. Race through the M4, trying to do some more bank damage. They'll keep the T side at bay for the moment. Winstrike have already lost that first pick, though, so they're playing passive down to the band's advantage. Joe coming up with a kill, top of the orange boxes at a 5-on-3. It's all falling apart. More heads up and up. 1 kill comes back for Nickelback. 2 all in all to a 3-on-3 scenario. Box now isolated here towards Ali. He needs backup and his teammates rotating. Speedak. Focus fire against Bond. Nick needs to get one of these picks. He gets Nickelback to fall. 3 kills to his name. Crizin now being backstabbed against by MDS, moving up to position right here. Spray through, gets that headshot. Now a 1-on-1 against an 8 HP AWP. Needs to get this bomb down on the site. Suppressed, held away. Smokes down over towards that main position. Time is ticking. Perhaps it one trying to force this peek out from Speedak. Edge of the smoke, trying to lean forward, space in, and Crizin wins it. Just able to hold control for the Winstrike side. 17 to the board, and they stay alive for another round. Such a massive round of that one here for the T-side line. One to take us to a second overtime at this stage, and the rebuys can come through from both sides, of course. Double offset about for Joe and Speedak. We barely saw this during regulation. We definitely didn't see it in the last few rounds of OT. Is this the trump card for Nemiga? Is this going to be the setup that ends things off, gets those picks in, and shuts down what's left of it here? The AWP faces in for Speedak, already looking to the T spawn. No frags found. There's Nickelback taking out Joe. M4 box around the corner. Gets that one. Gets that second. And Life gets out towards the side as well. 3 on 3. Sees a third player. The spray's good. And now Lion and Crizin left to recover it for Winstrike. Incendiary is up. The CT trying to hold control from passive angles. Ox will smoke out the orange boxes. Keep his eyes on that alley entrance, expecting more contact from the T side. They've gone passive. Winstrike been very, very careful about this. Orb in, M4's out, Incendiary's down, and Boxface up sees one player. Trying to tap that headshot, unable to get the kill though. The flash is in, the nades at the ready. The flash is too low over to continue once again. Box with that spray, gets it down to Chris in a 1v3 clutch, and MDS will cinch it. 19-17 for Nemiga Gaming. They do take Winstrike's map pick in such a massive result for them as well at this stage. Like, this map is definitely going to be for Winstrike, but not to be in the end. Nemiga able to take control. They're able to take their opponent's map pick, and that's going to be the conclusion of that first map of this series. Honestly, I'm very surprised. I'm very, very shocked, honestly. Like, you know, I'm looking at this situation and I'm thinking to myself, you know, the way that Nemiga have played out on the CT side especially is particularly proficient for them, and it did actually manage to get them over the edge again with those 10 rounds in a row. And Winstrike, again, losing that map pick. This is their map pick. This is their map to win overall. Going into Mirage, there's going to be a serious chance for Nemiga to turn this over. Some of the numbers posted up were absolutely fantastic for players like MDS, for example, Lollipop, you know, going 25 frags overall. But Winstrike at least showed some of that potential. We talked about it prior to the game, talking about a Lion in particular and how he's going to take that AWP and try and frag back with it. 31 kills by the end of the map. So he definitely showed up in a moment when he was absolutely required there for the Winstrike side. And for him, obviously, it's going to be a promising element going into the T side of Mirage coming up in the next map up. And that coming up after this very short break. So do not go anywhere. The second map of our best of 3 is coming back after this break.
With the right CPU, you can turn any game from familiar to phenomenal. Unleash the potential in all your gaming with Intel 10th Gen processors. With its optimal balance of threads, cores, and frequency to deliver elite real-world performance. Only Intel can bring Marvel's Avengers to life with in-game PC optimizations. Supercharge your Marvel's Avengers experience with Intel Core i5, i7, and i9 processors.
Ring ring! The IEM New York Experience Box is here. Hot, fresh, and delivered straight to your door. Tasty ingredients make this box a must-have. Claim yours quick at the ESL shop before they sell out. Oh, and there's no real pizza. Get your taste of New York while it's hot.
Start your esports career now at play.eslgaming.com.
I want you to believe. I want you to believe.
Out of the shadows, I've come to make a name. Ready for battle, 'cause I got a thing to claim. tree and stay. Where you see me coming, better run for cover. 'Cause I'm not slowing down, I'm never going under. I survived the pain, I know it made me stronger. So meet the monster, I came to conquer. When all the smoke clears, I'll still be on my feet. Forget all of my fears, 'cause I know my destiny. I feel a champion waking inside of me. It's set in motion, the legend's begun. This is my moment. Can't break my focus, know where I'm going. This is my moment. Where you see me coming, better run for cover. 'Cause I'm not slowing down, I'm never going under. I survived the pain, I know it made me stronger. So meet the monster, I came to conquer. When you see me coming, better run for cover. I survived the pain, I know it made me stronger. I've been running over all the corners of my mind, trying to find a story to believe. And I've been getting sick of how I'm spending all my time, searching for a way to find relief. And I can stay inside, go to sleep, but I feel like I need to let go. And I can spin a web of any story that I like, but tonight I wanna make a masterpiece. Stepped out looking like a small fire, half glass and filled with desire. Head down, but I know I can't deny it. Life is fun when you're a liar. I'm just trying to learn from all the things that I've been told. I'm gonna paint a new reality. It doesn't take a lot to turn a person into gold. Yeah, I've been getting good at alchemy. And you can stay inside in the dark, but without it you never let go. And when you're done with hiding and you wanna have control, you and I can find a perfect fantasy. Stepped out looking like a small fire, half glass that filled with desire. Head down, but I know I can't deny it. Life is fun when you're a liar.
We're living for the moment now, we're one with the world. I can't lose this. this feeling I get. My heart's in the right place, and so is my soul, yeah. I won't take no excuses for it. Love it, need it, live it. I feel like something's missing when I do not have it. I feel it in my bones, gotta find my space. These emotions on my face, taking a toll, I gotta pay it forward. I'll give it all that I can. No matter what, I won't let up. It's in my soul, it's in my blood, and I won't take no for an answer. If it don't hurt me, it makes me stronger. Yeah, no what, I won't let up. It's in my soul, it's in my blood, and I won't take it no more. I won't be there. Just leave it to me. I know what I need. You'll find if you see. And if you believe, you live and you breathe, you'll find the key. Lifting me, lifting you. Can't go alone, let's do by two. Doing this together, it's me by you. All through the night, all through the night. This is me, this is you. When we get together, we can all pull through. I don't ever wanna stop this groove. Let's get it right. Take it to the Lord, then take it to the grave. Listen to the wise man, tell me what to say. Listen to your heartbeat like it still bleed. A little bit of hope, yes, what we still need. Say a little prayer for the moment. Get what you got, just go and.
Intel Extreme Masters New York Online is brought to you in part by Intel, Acer Predator, Mountain Dew Game Fuel, DHL, AT&T, U.S. Air Force, and GG Bet.
Welcome back to IEM New York Online for the CIS division. We're into map 2 between Nemiga and Winstrike. If you're just joining us off the back of map 1, you missed an epic because it went all the way to overtime. Nemiga did come out on top on their opponent's map pick. And you entertained the thoughts of a 2-0 at the pre-game, Dwayne. And I kind of have the feeling that maybe we may be on for that reality here. Like, they look damn good against the Winstrike side at a point where I honestly felt like they looked like they were playing on a completely different level in the match.
Yeah, look, I certainly thought that if it was a 2-0, like, Vertigo was going to be close. It was going to come really down to the wire, and that's only because we saw Nemiga playing it against Hellraisers only a few days ago, and they looked pretty impressive on it. So, look, yeah, it was down to the wire, it was close, it went to overtime, but the fact of the matter is, yeah, it may have been a brawl, but Nemiga have still been able to win their opposition's map pick. Going into Mirage, you've got to expect it should be an easier time. I think it will still be a contest going into the second map, but I don't think it will be as down to the wire, another overtime affair going into Mirage.
Yeah, no, I think Nemiga are going to wrap this up pretty effectively. You know, Mirage is their map pick. It is one of those maps that they play relatively frequently. It's not got the greatest of win rates, but you're also talking about teams at the top end of Counter-Strike who they've lost to, and they're taking close map ups against the likes of, you know, Sprout in the past as well. So, like, you know, the win rate sort of like speaks for itself, but it doesn't really like give the whole context, I don't think, about the matchup that we have coming up for us. For me, I'm taking a look at Mirage on the Winstrike side, knowing that it's the highest played, the highest one map in the pool in terms of win percentage, but also the lowest played map overall. So one of those matchups where you just take a look at their results and it's like they've got wins against 9, for example. They've got wins against Secret. They had a 16-4 victory against the Nemiga in the past, but you know, I'm not sure how much that's going to play into things. Like, it definitely looks like on the day they were tilted at certain points over on Vertigo.
Yeah, look, it felt like for Winstrike, there were certainly opportunities there where they probably should have been able to close out the game or at least get more involved earlier on. We saw that early 5-0 start, and then it just seemed like as soon as we got into round 6, it was like we're looking at a completely different Winstrike team. They lose 10 rounds in a row, they get off to another good start into the second half, then there's a bit of a comeback, and Winstrike take it to overtime, but don't win out in the end. You've got to think that, that's hard to swallow. It really is. That should have been a map victory to go the way of the Winstrike side. They're now going on to Mirage. Yeah, the statistics lie in their favor, but this is still going to be a really tough affair. And one thing that really gives me a bit of confidence is Speedax showed up towards the end there. He had a very, very quiet regulation, but once he got into overtime, he got going. That gives me positive signs going into Mirage.
Well, do you know who else showed up in the server? It was a Lion, actually. And that's something I mentioned at the end of the last game there, is that he was ending in 31 kills. The top fragger in the whole server, not just for his team, not just for his teammates. So, like, he's found himself with a really good stance here. And we're talking a little bit about him being a little bit inconsistent, about the players overall being relatively inconsistent for Winstrike. But a Lion's looking good today. And if you can translate that over to Mirage, I think the T-side can have a little bit of weight to it for Winstrike. But I think the T-side is where this battle is won and lost for them.
Yeah, look, absolutely. And one of the things, especially in the CIS region, is you've just got some really big star AWPers, right? You've got Speedax from the Nemiga side. You've obviously been able to get some like really sort of like big name AWPers. And it's always difficult when you kind of compare because there's just so many out there. So look, I think for a Lion, he was able to show up some really good promise in that first map. He needs to be able to deliver again, Jay. He needs to be able to get more involved and at least get a little bit more support from his teammates.
Well, map 2 now going live with our pistol round. Double flash and smoke for Box. We have the defuse kit in of Crizin. Utility minimal amounts in Winstrike's part of things. We play down for a Lion, breaking that first face in against Joe. He drops him with MDS there to support, playing entry frag. E2K backed up here towards the Bears corner. They haven't checked this. They turn around and Nickelback will get the kill on Joe. Speedax will fall. MDS gets a trade to a 3-on-3. Lackey drops it to 2. Rotations called in towards the A site as B suddenly open. Lollipop drops out of the apartments. Crizin will take contact on that bomb planter. Out in the open, could be a swing out from that market area to get that frag back, but the bomb plant does cross successfully. They get a plant in. Player spotted towards market, goes down to a 2-on-2.
Really well played there from Nemiga, going up for a top con split, but then realizing, hang on a minute, we've got an opening out to this B bomb site. They pushed Lollipop very aggressive into the market angle, and Box has now caught both of the players in sight, knows exactly where he is, playing contact with his teammate, and now it's all down to Chris, and already been goosed down in the process, and Box is going to deliver 2 kills on the post plant. And for Winstrike, we saw some really great engagements towards that A bomb site, but Nemiga found a pretty open B. There was only that single player of Crizin from the short position, but outside of him, Nemiga were in a tough spot, and they actually make it work.
Indeed they do. Pistol going their way. A bit of a back and forth affair, though, so could have been much more confident regardless. It does go on the board for the T-side start, so Nemiga, a great job set in so far for the Belarusians. AK's out, Mac 10's in early on against the the force buy, I should say, from Winstrike, and the Deagles are doing damage towards his mid-control. Lackey tapping up with his Deagle, and a bit of support there from Crizin as well. 30 HD on MDS and Lollipop, so not too bad to start things off.
Yeah, it's really a great position, to say the least, from Winstrike. And Nemiga now have to try and fight their way back in with a couple of players on low HP. Now, they've got a pretty good stance out from mid. They've been able to force MDS into that chair position. Winstrike having a pretty heavy lean towards this A bomb site, only having a single player of Crizin over to the B bomb site. Nemiga, though, I mean, just looking at where they're positioned at the moment, they've got an opportunity to try and split into B from short, or even go up connect and maybe get a player into window room.
Will be advisable here to take the map control away from Lackey. Deagle ready for the contact. I don't know if he heard something or if he just saw some sort of pixel or some sort of information being gained. You saw how he quickly flicked over. Scout in, look for players, and Box drops him. Lackey and Nickelback do get 2 trades back in. Players are still tagged up. Lollipop Joe, low HP as well. Box and Lollipop still get the frags back, and Box makes it a triple for Nemiga's second to the board.
And honestly, probably a little bit disappointing there, to say the least, from Winstrike. They had a stack towards the A bombs, like they had 2 players incredibly low from Nemiga. Lucky did a good job of being able to deal with the split into window room, but it was the players up through connector that got some really great entries out from the A ramp position too. Winstrike don't get that force buy successful, so they can't really upgrade too much going into round 3. A couple of deals here and there, and a P250. But all in all, a very light investment. This should be a simple third for Nemiga.
Yeah, Molotov straight in and force them back. Deagle's not willing to take that first face box. We'll get the MAC-10 in and get that frag. Look back towards Dark Scene. Nothing now, focus back on Jungle. No players out there, and there's money to be gained. Second frag found, so he's done his job. Bondic takes him down. Molotovs and smokes up. Plant can be secured. Open for the sandwich area. 4v3 for Nemiga. And Winstrike. Well, they have themselves set up to hopefully take some frags away. They do drop the second MAC-10, so the AKs just need to play passive and make sure they keep those frags away from the Deagles. They get another good pick, but that'll be an expensive round for Nemiga overall. And the AK is tempting face here for Joe. Does not see the players over at the Sniper's Nest entrance. 2-3, spray 2, catches 1, 2 damage up, does go down in the end. So Joe recovers a line left alone. Nemiga 3-0 to the start, Winstrike up to the bye.
Oh, very decent damage. Couple of kills from Bondic. I felt as if towards maybe the end there of cleaning up that round, maybe it was a little bit too over-aggressive to come out from Joe. He didn't really need to go hunting, but they do so nevertheless. And they get away with a third round. 3-0 start up for the T side, but Winstrike are going to respond back with an AWP from the line. You mentioned it just a little bit of time ago, Jay, how important he was for the Winstrike side over in that first map of Vertigo. They're getting the AWP out for him as quickly as possible. Hey, Exy?
Straight in for the big green gun on the main player for the Winstrike side. It does look like a set piece in towards the A side. You're correct about that. A Lion is ready to receive it. Joe gets Bondic because he's completely flash blind. The second flashbang takes the Lion blind as well. A third one coming in as Joe swings out. The timing's perfect for Nemiga. They take a 2-for-1 as Nickelback can respond towards Joe, but the plant could be secured. They have site access. They haven't quite got it on towards the site position itself. Nades on, no damage to pop, not yet the full M4 looks on, he gets the kill from Dark on, lacking prison to face in, 1 HP for him, no MDS can get a wall bank spray, and Nickelback left in a 1v3 clutch.
I tell you what, that is such an excellent execution. Now, one of the big things, especially on Mirage when going for an A-site exit, you know, you can have your molly towards, you know, default or sandwich or back triple and your standard smokes down, but it's really the timing that is sort of like the small elements that you really need to work on to be able to create a very strong execution. You saw there for Nemiga, they, instead of just going for the normal cross smokes at stairs and connector, they put down a connector jungle smoke, and the flashes are timed absolutely perfectly. That when Joe swings out into that connector angle, they're just completely blind. Timing being on point for Nemiga. You can see, Jay, how many times they have drilled that execution over and over and over again in the practice.
All that practice coming out to fruition here and dominating the Winstrike side early on in this matchup, and the hits continuing to come through to confidence. Moneyline built for several players on the Nemiga side. Got a couple of players that are low on cash amounts. AK set in, AWP out from Lion's going to be the only rifle to work for Winstrike. Other than that, just pistols out on the half bite. They will be ready for that orb to take face into the apartments. Jump face out. A Lion can't see the player that crossed out towards the stairs. Second man going to start facing forward of his own right. Bates in that shot, gets Crimson to fall. They know that orb's in play though. USP comes out towards the corner, and Joe just plays patient to take him down. Nickelback comes up with one frag out towards Palace, but 4-on-2 situation. That's the only AK they have to work with. For him, it's best to save.
Yeah, try and hold on to the AK, bring it into the next. Lucky, if he can get a kill or two, then he'll do great work over at B to at least try and keep the economy low for this T side, but he's alone, and now the Molotov spread. They know exactly where he is. He's trying to tap away, get a bit of an off angle. Nickelback even gets hunted down, so no AK can be retrieved there. Nemiga have got the opportunity of just trying to bring that bomb over to the A bomb site, coming in through underpass, but it's Joe with the AWP to get the 5-0 start for Nemiga. Very, very contrast of a different straight in that first map. We saw Winstrike getting up 5-0. Into the second half, they got up 3-0. Nemiga have never been the team, even in that first map, that got off to a strong start. Nemiga off to an absolute flyer. The rifle's back in for Winstrike.
free off the speed act, by the way. They didn't have to fight into that one. They stole it off of a Lion. He's back into his own AWP. Nickelback aggressing first, and speed act ready to deal with it. Fox gets Bondic as well over on the A entries. Meanwhile, 3 standing for Winstrike off just the early peaks and picks. More kills coming in as Box and Lollipop get 2 more. Crizin 1v5. This is one of the most efficient executions towards A side, and one of the most consistent executions towards the A side I've seen from a team in a long time.
And they just get the kills so damn quickly. Winstrike try and get a little bit of aggression out from mid, and it's just dealt with ease. No one going down. 6-0. Oh, Winstrike having a tough time to chip back in, Jay. The momentum's continuing. And this is not looking positive for the Winstrike side. They're down in 5th place in their group. They need to get some points going for them. They're currently ranked 6th in the RMR ladder. Falling to Nemiga here would certainly not help their campaign any further.
Well, nothing they can do for round 7. Deagle's out for Winstrike. Been decimated so far by the pistols as well as the rifles for Nemiga so far. Pistols in, the hand cannons out across most of the board. Joe's already got that first pick into the apartments, lucky to fall. And for Winstrike, this is how they got tilted over on Vertigo. You know, they lost a number of rounds in a row to Nemiga. It was about 6 or 7 or so in a row before they really started making some massive mistakes. Ended up being 10 in total by the end of the half. Joe and Lollipop, simple frags to find all 5 players, not even showing up any resistance here on the CT side.
And what's so insane too for Nemiga is that, you know, Belarus is such a small scene that it only feels like Nemiga have been like the only team to sort of like make it. I know that there's been a couple in the past of a couple of sort of Nemiga teams, or Belarus teams I should say, but it really feels like Nemiga, you know, they've stick together as a core for a very, very long time. They've been grinding their way up the rankings. And certainly in this matchup, they are showing us what they can deliver. You've got to think for Winstrike, do they want to go like double up? Like, look at a line 0-1 and 7, Jay. We were talking him up going into Mirage.
That's disappointing to see as well. And it's sort of, but it does sort of come back to what we were talking about in previous sort of conversations, and the fact that sometimes he can be one of the best fraggers, or sometimes just one of the worst. And you know, map 1 was a case of the former. This map is a case of the latter. He does find a kill to open things up here. Look at a flashbang in from Nickelback, though. He gets blinded off by a Lion's own piece of utility. So 4-on-4 scenario gained by the Nemiga side. Losing that opening frag, but getting us back to an even standing to continue to play the game.
Oh, Lollipop again, Jay. Secondary kill of the round out from Connector to get 2 kills. And now for Winstrike, they've only got 1 player at B. Now, they do have a quick wraparound coming in from Bondic, but it's whether they can stall for enough time to allow this to be successful.
MDS comes up with the frag, 2 standing now for Winstrike. Nemiga have a bomb point on the B side, and 8th in a row. This T side is looking monstrous. We could be on for a 2-0 if this keeps up.
Yeah.
Man alive, like, they just took a tactical pause as well for Winstrike, so you got to think, like, you know, all the conversations, all the discussions about tactics and how they're going to approach the game from here on out. And yeah, despite that, they continue to lose rounds. Despite that, the odds have massively tipped against their favor. Like, how crippling to the morale is that going to be for the CT side?
Yeah, it's going to be a lot. There's no doubt about it. I mean, a line finally gets some kills on the board, and it comes off the back of just exits. You've got to think this is going to be a big test now for Nickelback, the recent addition of an in-game leader to sort of step up and say, right, okay, this is what we need to do. Have a chat with Hooch, of their coach, who used to be a player, very experienced name in the CIS scene, and just have some discussions to sort of say, right, what do we need to do to get back involved? We know Alion's not really showing up with the AWP. Do we want to give the AWP over to someone else? Do we want to set a line up a little bit differently? No matter how they do it, Jay, they need rounds, and they need them quickly.
Majority of players of Winstrike on 2 kills, the same as Speed at the low fragger for the Nemiga side, but the Lions starting to step up a little bit here. Frag on Joe, fix things up for the opening kill here in the round, but look how fast the T side make their way in towards Dark and the entryways towards the A side. Lollipop getting a kill, Bondic trades it still here towards the default plant position, flashes over from the CTs, catching Bondic trying as much as they catch their opponents. They do still catch those players on the crossfire though, as Bondic and Lackey clean house and finally get that first to the board of the CT side.
And look, much better there coming out from Winstrike. We see an aggressive Align trying to get up to that short position, finds that opening contact, and it forces Nemiga to go into the A-bomb site really quickly. We see a fair bit of utility coming out from the mid players over the top of Connector, try and help them out in terms of the flashbangs. And for Winstrike, they don't overextend there. We see Bondic playing around that sort of default position, doesn't need to swing out, just tries to waste as much time and get the right jiggle peaks in. Nemiga going quick out for the mid-control box. He spotted the player out to the short position. There's a head being seen. He gets a dink off through the wall onto a line. So great damage found, but he's not going to be able to find the opener.
Yeah, Lion takes that frag, catching box to go a little bit overly aggressive. Jump fainting to try and get on top of the bench, and the AWP is ready for it. And Box has had a number of good rounds where he's just forced forward on his own accord. Like, obviously, the A-site entries in that 4K round is one to remember from Vertigo. Here towards the mid-control this time, and, well, he'll go down for it alongside MDS, trying to get the mid-control position at the sniper's nest area. Winstrike, a 5-on-3, and now that they've gotten started, this can start to spiral here from the CT camp.
It really can do. Lollipop can at least try and force a player out for the dark position, but Bondic's teammate actually puts a smoke down to the molly. Speedak only finds one with that AWP. Winstrike now with 2 in a row, Jay. Now you look at the economy line for Nemiga, and it's so strong that Winstrike are going to have to do a hell of a lot if they want to try and reset this money line, because not only if they keep winning rounds will they start to limit the economy, but it means that the loss bonus is going to start to go up for Nemiga, especially when they get bomb plants in as well. Winstrike can't really think about, oh, let's reset them. They've just got to be thinking about, let's just play our own game.
Anyway, Calm AK's out of the gate. AWP focusing fire. A Lion ready. Not looking the right way at the right time. Still adjusts against Box. NDS will find that trade though, so the AWP goes out. Now Lucky being challenged by the AWP on the T side. Instead, Joe legs him, puts smoke down, tanks a nade, but only so much damage here. 4-on-4 situation, and Winstrike heavily tagged up with the CT ball. They're going to try to find entries. Crossfire locked in. MDS still gets that kill on Nickelback. One player now here towards the bomb plant position on default. MDS catches that frag before the Molotov even gets down here from Lollipop's part of things. So all left the Lackey, Chris, and they know what their role is here. Another save call for Winstrike. They got those 2 rounds, but it's turned around again to 9 to the board of the T side.
And I tell you what, when I look at this Nemiga side, just in terms of like who's star players and who's got a lot of potential, I don't typically look at MDS as being one of the players to really step up. But I tell you what, his entering ability has been phenomenal on the T side. You saw the way that he even flashed his way through his own top con smoke, gets in towards that stairs area, fights the player towards triple, gets the information too for him to give over to his teammate that there's a player in default to put that molly down. And just opens up the bomb site with 3 kills. Spidak now chiming into the action too, means that Lucky's going to be the last one left to try and hold on to this AK, and everyone's going hunting. They realize how important this is.
Yeah, take that rifle out of their hand, force every player to reinvest, get rid of the AKs, get rid of the firepower, get rid of the potential for Winstrike. They'll still have a buy up here. Lion can afford the AWP, Bondic can afford the drop, Kristen can afford whatever he wants. Same for Lackey as well. Nickelback's just got to be the player they have to account for. Kristen will drop that AWP over to a Lion. M4's getting passed back and forth between them and Nickelback. It's actually Lackey with the AWP instead of. They bought 2 AWPs here. Winstrike. Yeah, they have bought 2 AWPs. Okay, heavy investment round for them. They've got to come up good right here. And Lackey is ready for that mid-face first up. Not seeing any T-side contact. Expecting some aggression to come through. But this time, they go passive and bait in the information.
I didn't see Lucky AWPing at all on Vertigo. I know, especially when he got brought into this lineup really early on, he was doing a lot of AWPing on CT side of Mirage and Train and Dust too. And they've brought it in going into round 12, realizing that they need a secondary AWP. Another big sightline of a big green gun. Lucky looking to try and take the duel out towards the apartments, but it's actually Chris and his teammate on the jump spot that goes down to the AWP.
There it is, first frag found by Joe. No chances for Lackey or Lion to strike yet. But Winstrike losing that opening frag. Face up and Bonding, flat trying to corner against one player. Sprays awkward, Lollipop comes away with a kill. They just can't force it. Winstrike doing everything they can to try and get a one-up above an Nemiga, but they just can't seem to find it whenever they go aggressive. AWP on sight from the line. They've been out trying to adjust the forced off angle, just couldn't readjust his aim. NDS with that frag. Lackey and Nickelback can chime through, but as Joe gets Lackey, Nickelback with the only player left, 1-on-3. Incendiary is coming in back and forth from both sides. Flash is out to get into escape. He's got to save the M4.
And they're going hunting again. Nemiga have just got so much money on this T side. Nickelback, rather than going back towards the market angle, is actually going for this, Jay. 1-on-3 clutch now, 1 versus 1. This is still very possible. He's got to smoke down and try and get it onto the bomb itself. It's down to Joe with the AWP. Nickelback's going to try and see if he can get on this bomb. Nade out towards to do some damage, but the AWP is going to find the shot. A nice attempt there coming out for Nickelback, but not enough to get the round together.
Yeah, good attempts, but as you mentioned, not to be. 10-2, however, and it really should have been for him. Like, it needs to be something coming out from Winstrike. They put so much behind that double orb setup, and it would have been worth it if that clutch came through, but now that it hasn't, we're back to force by status. Winstrike continuing to struggle with their weapons here. AWP smarts out M4 SMG burst. Who finds that one pick? A Lion there with Nickelback actually. The aggression towards mid is working. 3-for-1 trade. The SMG gets involved. Now the 2 players left towards the apartments are going to be the players that force forward. Speedak here with the AWP. Heard on the scoping against one player back down towards truck. Timing of the Deagles team. This man fires away, misses, but catches that kill. Leaving it all to Joe as the last player left. Gets that one headshot. And now the plant down the receiver in 1 versus 3.
Another chance for a big clutch to follow for Nemiga. We've seen them attempt these clutches before. Think back to the 1 versus 5 attempt from MDS. And Joe, he's got an opportunity of trying to aggress through market. The thing is, though, there's an aggressive apps player. It all comes down to timing. Lucky catches him off guard, looking the wrong direction. So Winstrike are able to claim their third, pick up both of those double orbs and an AK. Very strong round indeed for Winstrike.
Still trying to make this look competitive, and definitely did manage to show something up there with the rifles in check. A very awkward force buy came in from them, and I didn't count them to win the round, but they did. Now back on the rifles, the rebuy from Nemiga will start to put their own economy into an awkward position. AWPs and AKs out, full sets of utility coming through. Double orb setup in from Lackey and a Lion here. Winstrike. A passive control from Nemiga out to the mid position. Head seen, not quite at the player at ladder room. That's Nickelback there with the AUG. Pushing out to play contact. Lollipop pops out of ramp. No utility to give away his position. He gets Lackey to fall as a player. Also aggressive from ramp, but Bondig is not going to extend to T-spawn to catch the trade.
Yeah, look, I'll tell you what, like, look at the freedom that Lollipop was able to find in that kill opening right there, Jay. Just to swing out from ramp, no return from Winstrike because Bondig's pushed so aggressively, and that even brings a line into that CT spawn because they don't know about the connector play.
Orb shot not connecting from a Lion, overcooking a lot of these adjustments. They're looking so awkward for him. And the T's playing in towards the A site now, trying to overwhelm that orb, trying to overwhelm the rifle over at the palace position. Joe catches Nickelback on rotation, not aware of the second player that's out there. That is the M4 of Crizin. Bondik goes next. They haven't got a bomb to the site, though. They've got to win this off the kills here. A Lion facing in. MDS is tagged. Crizin continuing to try and find angles here towards the murder hole, and finally there will be a rotation coming out from the likes of Box, but finally Winstrike given a chance to strike in now, and the bomb's going to make its way back towards the A site. Crizin's found a kill, looking for another. Lollipop gets Crizin to return now. Elias left for the orb, here to clutch it, looking onto the open position, the edge of that gap at the danger box. And Boggs could get up the angle if he plants open for ramp. Out in the open, though, a Lion overextends, and Boggs will shut him down.
Oh, Winstrike. It seems, Jay, as soon as they're able to convert around, there's just a response there for Nemiga. I had a really decent buy as well going into round 14, and now you have a look at what's on the table for 15. SMGs for Mars, even for Bondik. A Lion, he's only going to be on a Deagle. It doesn't even have an AWP in this round, Jay.
Round 15, we'll see the best of the best that they can get out for Winstrike. Unfortunately, that's not much, as you mentioned, a line on the Deagle. Nickelback already dead. Spray on Lollipop. Molotov's down. Box will get a Lion to fall in connector, so 5-on-3 situations. And Winstrike slowly but surely getting picked apart, trying to fight back for Krisen's part of things. Gets Lollipop to drop. Now they're going towards the apps position and back around T-Spawn. This aggression from the FAMAS actually could catch a frag. If he gets some of this information, potentially even gets one of these players, the AWP facing first around a corner, and a slow face allows Bondic to get it to a 3-on-3.
The thing is, though, they've still got a lure coming out for the T side of MDS, but Bondic does even more damage. I did not think he was going to get away with all of that. Drops that bomb, finds 3 kills, and now MDS is in a 1 versus 3.
Wow. A flash and a spray can make all the difference in the world, it seems. Bomb being dropped as well. SMG of Lucky is trying to find this man. MDS looking for the headshot angle he needs. He'll take that contact against that one player. Now the other 2 CCs will watch their own. As long as they crossfire on this bomb, MDS will have no way in. Fights towards the ramp control. Looks on the catch this player over at CT. Smokes down to siphon them off. So now we can take this 1v1 fight against an SMG. Sprays through, falls back. Needs to get towards the A site here or win this off the kills. He's trying his hand at obviously last round of the half, so might as well here. Molotov down, spray up, damage done to 6 points of health. And 10 seconds left. Taps up, gets that kill on Lackey. Sees the Achilles heel of Bondic, but he still gets that shot, so we get 4 for Winstrike. Trying to make this competitive. We should go to a break. Their T-side half is coming up after this.
Welcome to the war game.
You're no ally of mine. Your life is a kind of lie, and I know that I won't change your mind. We have no common ground, and we're never gonna figure it out. So don't get friendly, get angry. I'll bury you down by the bar. So don't reach out, and I mean that. I'm under siege, and I need you to see that. You're on one side, I'm on another, and we will wage war upon each other. I'm no angel, you're not either. I'm out of fever, which you're at a leisurely pace. Unscathed and unafraid. A warm welcome to the war game.
Seeing the stars reminds me of you. Oh, oh, oh. You left me with scars, but I know that one day you'll see it through. You give me air to breathe, you give me light to see. Oh, when things are out of reach, you bring them back to me. Back to me. You see it through. myself and I can't focus. Yeah, I'm broken. The door is closing. Wanna be a part of something more than this. I've lost control of it. I've lost control. You give me air to breathe. You give me light to see. When things are out of reach, you bring them back to me. Back to me. You see it through. You see it through. You see it through. You see it through.
I don't wanna fight it. It's time to let it go. It's time to lose your inhibition. Developing a blind ambition. If you got a match, just go ahead and light it. I wanna see where this is going. We're done with playing games, not knowing, yeah. We've nothing to lose. We're lost to the night. We're feeling alright. There's no need to choose. Don't make up your mind. We're feeling alright. 1, 2, 3, 4, Gonna do it like this, gonna do it like that. Everybody's on that, gonna do it like this. Yeah, we never look back. Oh, got the bodies on tap, getting rowdy on it, getting cloudy on it. Got me on the right track, yeah, you got me on it. Gonna do it like this, cause that's the way we want it. Gonna do it like this, gonna do it like that. Gonna do it like this, yeah, we never look back. The shots on my tab, everybody's on that, getting cloudy on it. Yeah, we do it like this, cause I like it like that, yeah. We're going through the motions, in super slow motion. It's time to lose your inhibition. Developing a blind ambition. Fire it up, ignite it. I don't wanna fight it no more. I wanna see where this can go. I'm done with playing around, not knowing, yeah. We've nothing to lose. We're lost to the night. We're feeling alright. Feeling alright. My eyes are on you, and yours are on mine. We're feeling just fine. Just let it go. Gonna do it like this, gonna do it like that. Everybody's on that, gonna do it like this. Yeah, we never look back. Oh, got the bodies on tap, getting rowdy on it, getting cloudy on it. Got me on the right track, yeah, you got me on it. Gonna do it like this, cause that's the way we want it. Gonna do it like this, gonna do it like that. Gonna do it like this, yeah, we never look back. Oh, yeah. The shots on my tab, everybody's on that, getting cloudy on it. Yeah, we do it like this, cause I like it like that, with the blind ambition. You and I, we've been friends for a long time now. Always have a good time whenever we go out. But you've been calling me up all the time and sending me signs and giving me them eyes. And you that you found the one. Texting me junk and you wanna talk, but you can't say why. I can't get there and you know I've tried. You know I don't wanna waste your time. City lights, I'm looking in your eyes, but I can't say why. Doesn't feel right to call you mine. You know I don't wanna waste your time. I can't get there and you know I've tried, but I can't say why. Feeling lost like I just want a time back time. I'm choked up, tell me how do I say this right? Cause you've been calling me up all the time and sending me signs and giving me them eyes. And you've been saying that you found the one, texting me drunk and you wanna talk, but you can't say why. I can't get there and you know I've tried. You know I don't wanna waste your time. City lights, I'm looking in your eyes, but I can't say why. Doesn't feel right to call you mine. You know I don't wanna waste your time. I can't get there and you know I've tried, but I can't say why. But I can't say why. I can't get there and you know I've tried. You know I don't wanna waste your time. City lights, I'm looking in your eyes, but I can't say why. Doesn't feel right to call you mine. You know I don't wanna waste your time. I can't get there and you know I've tried, but I can't say why. But I can't say
I might be tired at the stones they throw, picking up scars and I hold them close. They shot me down, but I got this far. Shine a light on me when my heart goes dark. Cause I'll never lose faith now. I'm in the flames of an angel. Fire, fire, burn.
another extended pause in our halftime break, excuse me. Nemiga still leading by 11-4. That much has not changed. Winstrike need to bring the comeback. They were able to do so from a similar stature in the last map, but they need to get a good pistol victory to start it off. They're going for the set execute into the A site, down towards connector and stairs. USPs standing by. No kits, no utility for Nemiga. The straight angels being taken, and they're not winning them out here. Speedak and Joe eventually get those first two frags, unlocking the Lion Prison. Will trade back Speedak for one frag, Lollipop and Nickelback getting 1-for-1s going, but that's a 3 versus 2 overall to the favor of Nemiga. Winstrike opted to back up, but they've lost that bomb control. They have to commit to A.
The thing is, for Winstrike, they need to keep fighting. They need to be able to find some sort of advantage back, even to give them a chance to try and get that bomb control. Nemiga had a gamble stack towards that A bomb site, and they're continuing to do damage. Bonding's the last one left, getting spammed through the under balcony position, and MDS towards stairs, going to be able to close out the job. 12 rounds up for Nemiga, and Winstrike just ran straight into a stack. Some really great crossfires being set from the CTs, and as soon as that bomb was dropped from Winstrike, the round was all over.
Pretty much, like, as soon as that went down, there's the end of it right there. Any chances for Winstrike were just taken right out of the play. That's a big pistol for Nemiga to win the grand scale of things. Obviously, with the SMGs back out, Scout and FAMAS in Deagles back up on the rebuy for the Winstrike side. Got the head Kevlar on several, smokes in, flashes over. Early control for Winstrike, trying to get towards his mid position before back by the utility. The SMG will face forward first. Tag Lackey to 4, Nickelback to 88. Takes some to return, and all in all, Nemiga get off on a major start.
A little bit surprising, too, that Nemiga have decided to go in for so many of these SMGs. They've got 3 MP9s across the board, and it's allowed them to get that extra bit of utility through. Winstrike on the force did not get a bomb plant in that pistol round, but are looking to see if they can get some individual duels. And Joe out from the short controllers, heard a couple of players down towards the mid position, and Box is trying to see if he can get anything over the smoke, and he'll be able to find the first.
Nickelback to drop. Nemiga off on the right foot again with the kill counts. They already had themselves that opening HP advantage, now the man advantage. The team's out of the mid control, trying to fall away from the apartment's face. Well, one player leaning up to that position in Crism, but again, Winstrike going to try and lean in towards the A play. They got one player so close for Lollipop, looking just to mop up these frags of the SMG, and with such low HP players taking contact first. The bomb in tow for a Lion, dealt with easy, 2 frags. 2 HP for Lollipop though. MDS gets Crism, so it's all left to Von Nick in towards Palace. The Speedax watching this angle, there's no way left for him in this round.
No, there isn't. Box even tackling away really long distance with that MP9. There was a crossfire being set from Speedak with that scout from CT, but wasn't even needed. 13 now on the board for Nemiga. The force buy from Winstrike not being successful once again. And you've got to think, Jay, how many more chances are they realistically going to get? You're down 9 rounds. Nemiga are going to be up against an Eco, so it should be a 14th. It's not looking good for Winstrike, to say the least.
No. It's not looking good for Nemiga either, apparently, as they've got a disconnection over on their CT half, so we're going to have to get that fixed up before we can jump back into the next round. But so far, they've been dealing with Winstrike particularly well. An Eco coming through, the SMG still in, because they know that they could probably just swamp the rest of this round with it. Coming back in here with a pretty basic basis, obviously, for the CT setup, but that should be more than enough to deal with the basic Eco of the Winstrike side. Just P250s being brought down early. I don't think they'll get many more pistols in play. If they do, there'll be upgrades. No Kevlar, no utility to back them up here.
It won't be much. And Nemiga, with still 3 SMGs out of those MP9s, you'd expect, you know, they can really start to farm up the money. They'll have no trouble investing into an AWP into the next round. For Speedak, if they like. And for Nemiga too, Jay, a win here will secure them that top 3 position, which is really ideally what everyone wants. Obviously, first in the group does advance you even further to the semi-finals, but top 3 secures yourself to the playoffs. We've recently seen over on the mainstreaming group a Na'Vi going down to Forza, dropping them 4th under that 3rd place position. So there is still a little bit of movement to go, Jay, because every team have got one more game after this one today.
Yeah, but I think at that point Nemiga would seal the deal on the on the Group B statistics. There would be no chance for the bottom three to move back into the top three. At that point, it would basically just be the playoff confirmed for the Nemiga side. So big win to take at this stage. A lot to hold. Hellraiser's kind of sweating things out a little bit, realizing that, oh, well, maybe we may be in for a bit of a bad time. Up for elimination here in this matchup. So Nemiga need to get those next few rounds on the board stat. They'll be able to hold their own here. 13-4 at this stage. The Rifles coming in against the Pistols. A tactical pause for Nemiga just to get themselves back on track. Obviously, they're still holding a confident line here.
Yeah, and look, I actually don't mind this tactical. I know that they're just up against an eco, but you've got to think in a situation like this when they're up this many rounds. You don't want to get too cocky. You don't want to just let it slip away, because Winstrike is certainly one of those teams that if you give them some advantages, if you give them some opportunities, they're going to be able to convert into some successful rounds. Now, Speedak, honestly, like, I know that he, towards the end of Vertigo, did step up, but in terms of regulation for both map 1 and map 2, he hasn't really been needed all too often. It's normally been the riflers that have been stepping up to get Nemiga most of these rounds, so you almost feel bad for Speedak that he hasn't really had too many opportunities to kind of show us his full potential in this game, Jay.
Yeah, we've seen flashes of brilliance from his AWP, but getting a bit quiet for this map. But not like it matters too much for Nemiga. They're having a massive time overall. Like, Joe's been having a very, very good set of games so far. In particular, into the last map up where the A-side defensive was basically resting on him as the anchor. And now here with the FAMAS, he is the top fragger for his team. 20 kills, double the second highest of Winstrike right now. It's quite an achievement to take at this moment. Still got a tech issue for the Nemiga side, though, so as long as they just keep holding their own. I mean, considering the tech problems they've had so far, forcing the pauses on several players have reconnected the server, I mean, given that, and they're still holding dominance here in these rounds, like, that's an encouraging sign for the CT side.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It can sometimes be a bit of a tilt factor, a bit of frustration when you're just not playing, consistently without any pauses and what have you, but Nemiga have held their shape really well. 13-4, they're 3 rounds away from being able to get this 2-0 over Winstrike. A couple of upgraded pistols, not too much, some P250s, some Deagles, so they have got some upgrades, Jay, and if they can get a couple of kills, if they can grant themselves a bomb plant, then fantastic, but you can't expect too much from a buy like this.
Yeah, again, they should be in Nemiga just mopping this up to get some money on the SMG players. That's why one of them is playing so close towards this top of a mid position. Scouts out, looking for shots. Fox takes those 2 frags, turns around for a triple. And Speedak still here with a P250 days up from his teammates. Bondic will get a double up of his own right. And now Lollipop swings out with his own SMG as they have their attention drawn towards Sniper's Nest. Nemiga only taking minimal casualties, but I think they lost a rifle in that exchange.
And Joe going down. And lots of SMG kills, though. Now, Speedak's got the option. He can get rid of this scout, upgrade to an AWP. Looks like he wants to hold on to it for a little bit longer. No, forget it. There it is. Orb's coming out. I thought he was going to just chuck that scout over, but he's going to leave it in CT spawns. If Winstrike takes CT spawn and they want a scout, there's one there for them. Winstrike, though, out towards a mid control to start off, looking like it's going to be leaning into an A split on the cards in the early round for Winstrike. 2 players out towards this ramp. Default, Lollipop's going to be able to find the opener, and a bit of information comes through.
The fact he's able to take a fully Kevlar AK out of the factor with the SMG in play is already massive value for Lollipop at this stage. They can keep that money line high, then they can still get weapons out and buy the M4s back in. Speedak at the edge of the smoke, gets Nickel back as well. Shot completely blind, gets a 4-on-3 now for Nemiga, and look at how far MDS has pressed up. SMG gets even more value. AK upgrade for free, 4-on-2. Nemiga have full control of this round.
He gets out of there so quickly too. He does not stay around at all. Joe puts down an incendiary. Winstrike in a 2 versus 4. They put a smoke down and try and push further forward, but rotations are starting to come through. 2 players at this B. Bomb site, easy crossfire. 15 rounds now on the board for Nemiga Gaming, Jay. And I tell you what, this second half has looked on point. They have not given up a single round to Winstrike on T.
They look to dominate their opposition here in IEM New York to secure themselves in the top 3, secure themselves that quarterfinals position. And look at the money line. It just gets worse and worse for Winstrike. 11 match points to deal with to get us back to an overtime situation, and I just don't see it happening at this stage, Dweg. AK's out, Galil into the last hurrah. Lucky trying to find something in the mid control, but blinded up on a flashbang. Shoulder bait's going to see that player. They can't get him down. Lollipop will open up on Chris, and Nickelback will find the trade. And Lucky so close to connect. The nade to his position doesn't do as much damage, but Box catches that player anyway now. 3 less standing for Winstrike, all entering towards A from various different positions. The AWP doesn't quite connect his shot. Looks back on though, catches himself 2 frags, and now it's the Lion left alone. Box will finish the job. 16-4, 2-0. Nemiga absolutely dominant here in our best of 3 series.
And what a superb showing coming out for them on Mirage. It's a map that we don't really see a massive amount of win percentage for them. They play it a fair bit, they pick it a fair bit. But I tell you what, Jay, they came out here to deliver. Mirage looked absolutely terrifying for the Nemiga side. And look, for Winstrike, they crumble. Their hopes of being able to get a top 3 placing is done and dusted now, Jay.
Absolutely. Again, that victory sets the Nemiga apart from the bottom 3. They were on that borderline, now going up 3-1 to tie up with Gambit and also throw Hellraisers off because they will not be able to move up any further. It's impossible for anyone to overtake an Nemiga. So there you go. Your top 3 is confirmed. Spirit at the top of that board, and Gambit and Nemiga just following in right at the bottom end of that too.
Yeah, look, a couple of disappointing results coming out from Group B. We saw Ethereal not being able to get a single victory, Hellraisers only getting 1, Winstrike only getting 1, so Spirit completely undefended in Group B are certainly going to be a tough force to be reckoned with, I think, going into the playoffs in IEM New York for CIS. But look, for Nemiga, they got the important points. They've been able to secure their victory, and look, they can go home very happy today.
Yeah, secured victory, secured quarterfinals. They must be feeling good about that. We'll find out how good they are feeling about that as we have Joe joining us here in the commentary box right now. Congratulations, you're officially in the playoffs. How you doing, man?
Thank you, doing good. Happy that we managed to do that.
Jay, I don't know if you want to add anything, but one thing I wanted to kind of talk about here, Joe, is especially the T side of Mirage. You guys had so much freedom in mid. You know, it was hyper aggressive. You were really trying to put the pressure on to your opposition. Was that something that was like a game plan against Winstrike, or was it just something that you felt was like working really well on the T side?
It's like our T side. When we feel the game, we just do like crazy things, like solo peaks. It just if you see enemy, just shoot them. You know, this kind of strats. Just I don't know. It's our strat on Mirage. Just go and shoot, run and shoot.
I love that. That's pure CIS right there.
Yeah.
Just go and shoot. I love it. Well, it worked
Yeah.
wonderfully for you guys. You know, we've talked a little bit about Winstrike in our during the matchup and talking about how consistent they can really be because sometimes they tend to hit some of the lowest lows. I wanted to ask you if you think they were really on form today.
It was tough on Vertigo. I think they prepared well. They tried to counter some things that we prepared against them. It was hard to do that. They did good job, but we managed to win because we started to changing our game plan during the game. And on Mirage, I don't know, we just didn't feel them. It was pretty comfortable win.
Yeah, look, I want to maybe touch on a little bit in terms of communication on that first map of Vertigo. You guys were up 14-9. You're in a really decent scoreline. It ends up going to overtime. What's sort of the comms at that point going to overtime? You know, after having a really big lead, we were thinking, oh, you're going to be able to close out Vertigo with ease. It went down to overtime. What were some of the discussions in that moment?
We lost many clutches on, we lost many clutches, and it shouldn't be overtime. I think it should be like 16-13 or 14 for us. We should have won that, but it happened like this, that we played overtime, and during the pause before overtime, we just made some easy strats to counter them, and it worked. We just went A, contact, and tried to just duel them, aim them, just try to kill them. That was the plan.
Awesome. Well, you guys do have one more match to play next week, but as I mentioned earlier, you guys are guaranteed for the quarterfinals. So taking a look to the match that you have against Gambit next week, and as well as the players and the teams that you could see in the quarterfinals, who do you think's your biggest threat now going forward?
In playoffs, you ask?
In players or teams?
I think Spirit, they're really on good form right now. I think they're toughest opponent for us.
Awesome. I mean, that's a respectable team to definitely consider as the toughest opposition. Sure. You may well be facing off against them if you get to meet them in those grand finals. But of course, that's all a story for another day. For now, it's all stories of victory for you. Again, congratulations on your victory. Thanks for joining us. And good luck in next week's match. Good luck in the playoffs as well.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. And thank you, everyone, for support. See ya.
Awesome. Gotta love it.
I like that.
A lot of support there for the Nemiga side. And, you know, I think they deserved it as well. Like, they really grinded their way together. Like, think back to about a year ago. I don't even think I would have pinned Nemiga as being a top-tier squad or even contesting in this position right now to beat a team like Winstrike. But they found their form, man, and they've made it work so well this tournament. I'm really, really stoked to see how well they've done, how well they've developed. And the victories here today have just been absolutely amazing for them.
Yeah, and look, the thing is for Nemiga, you know, sometimes it's really difficult to keep a core together for that long. You have a look at the core of MDS Lollipop and even Joe, you know, they've been together on this lineup for like 2 years now. Yeah, they've recently added Box last year. They brought Speedak in early towards January time. So they've only made really small amounts of roster moves, but you can certainly see the trajectory there for the Nemiga side. One thing that really does, you know, give me a bit of a giggle, you know, we were here, you know, in the NA doing IEM New York, and it's all about like the strats and this and that, you know, running the default, slowing it down. And when you're in CIS, man, it's like just play with confidence and just try and wide swing him, you know, play very solo, very individual. And it seems like for Nemiga, especially on Mirage, that's really where we saw it come into its own.
Well, it's a very talent-rich scene for that region, you know. Like he said, just go kill is basically a lot of the strategy where you could boil it down to for Nemiga and for a lot of the CIS squads, and definitely they can make that work in a CIS-based region. Obviously, in terms of the long-term game, I'm not sure whether that can carry forward into being like top-tier world Counter-Strike, but for now, for where Nemiga are at, like they're progressing so well that I don't think they need to focus on that right now. Like maybe later down the road, if they do get to that position, then yes, that could be a possibility. But for now, they're just in such a good spot that, you know, those strats can work. And going in against any of the other squads, the only way that they're going to be able to be countered is if there's a team with more firepower like a Spirit, like you mentioned.
Yeah, look, he did mention Spirit being sort of one of those teams that they're going to be a threat, and I certainly think like the last 6 months or so, Spirit have been really hitting their highs. I know inconsistency's been like a big thing in the CIS region, at least this year, and like the online scene, we see some like really hit and miss series, but Spirit have been like a consistent top performer for a really long time now over the course of this year. So I think any team facing off against Spirit is going to be a really tough affair. They've already secured their first spot going into that semi-final. So it makes their journey into the playoffs just a little bit easier. They don't have to start down into the quarterfinals.
Indeed, it does. There's still a chance for Nemiga to take that highest seed in the group, though. They've got to face off against Gambit to break that tie. So, of course, the winner of that one will face off against the third team from Group A, who could well be Forza, or it could well be Espada, maybe even Na'Vi. Because considering they lost their match against Forza today, that means they're knocked down in the lower three, and that could be a massive upset that could throw the playoffs off. So tomorrow's matches are going to be even more important than today's leg.
Yeah, and we saw that, you know, in all the respected regions, is it always comes down to the last day. You know, there is still room for movement. Yeah, in Group B, we know who our top three are confirmed, but you've got the seeding. I think Group A certainly has a little bit more movement than B does. But look, for Nemiga, they've got to play Gambit in tomorrow's game. That's going to be a tough affair again. Another CIS team that's been on the rise, a very young team transitioning over from the Gambit youngsters to the full Gambit side. And look, there were certainly some question marks about Hobbit joining the lineup, you know, and a very experienced player. What can he do? I know when he joined the first couple of weeks, he was really putting up some low numbers in terms of the kill count, but he seems like he's fit into the lineup really well, and they're starting to get those results back for Gambit.
We are looking forward to that match in tomorrow's matchup. Not quite waiting that long for the final day of the group stage. I'm so used to doing weekly shows at this stage, Dwayne, but no, it's absolutely fine. Tomorrow is where we get those matches on board. We have 3 streams for you covering 3 simultaneous matches from both Group A and Group B on ESL, CSGO, CSGO B, and CSGO C. So make sure you're following all those channels to keep up with all the action here for IEM New York. It's the final day of the group stage, and it's going to be a very fun time. Till that point, then we're going to have to bid you you ado, once again, I've been the Eternal Day. My co-commentator has been Dwayne on behalf of everybody else in the production staff here for the B-Stream. I want to thank you very much for watching and for listening. We'll see you back here at the same time, the same place for even more of IEM New York, CIS.
My name is Trace Saranthus. I am building a PC for Jordan Gilbert.
My goal was really to get something that was no compromise, super powerful, and ideally not built by Trace.
Yes, thank you so much, Jordan Gilbert. You know, we don't make mistakes around here. We made happy accidents.
I get a booster seat here. Enter now for a chance to win one of 3 PCs built by me, Jason, or Trace.
You ready? Huh? Hey, he's a good boy, huh? You ready? Huh?
Start your esports career now at play.eslgaming.com.
Filled with desire, head down, but I know I can't deny it. Life is fun when you're a liar. I've been told I'm gonna paint a new reality. It doesn't take a lot to turn a person into gold. Yeah, I've been getting good at alchemy. And you can stay inside in the dark, but without it you never let go. And when you're done with hiding and you wanna have control, you and I can find a perfect fantasy. Stepped out looking like a small fire, half glass and filled with desire. Head down, but I know I can't deny it. Life is fun when you're a liar.
We're living for the moment now, we're one with the world. I can't this feeling I get. My heart's in the right place, and so is my soul, yeah. I won't take no excuses for it. I want it, love it, need it, live it. I feel like something's missing when I do not have it. I feel it in my bones, gotta find my space. These emotions on my face, taking a toll, I gotta pay it forward. I'll give it all that I can. No matter what, I won't let up. It's in my soul, it's in my blood, and I won't take no for an answer. If it don't hurt me, it makes me stronger. Yeah, no what, I won't let up. It's in my soul, it's in my blood, and I won't take it no more. If I won't, I won't be there. Just leave it to me. I know what I need. You'll find if you see. And if you believe, you live and you breathe, you'll find the key. Lifting me, lifting you. Can't go alone, let's do by two. Doing this together, it's me by you. All through the night, all through the night.